8 teams sat on the sidelines yesterday and watched day one unfold. Strategies were implemented, mechanical skill was tested, and flaws were exposed. But now it is their turn to step onto the stage and perform under the lights. It's gonna be absolutely wild, and I cannot wait. My name is Barney Banks, and I am your host for the 2025 PMWC at the Esports World Cup. And let's keep that same energy going as we introduce our teams for day 2 of the group stage, kicking things off with Team Secret. Influence! Rage! Regnum! Carrier! Esports! Fire! Flux! Esports! Team Vision! Yamax Esports! DRX! Alpha Gaming! And finally, 4 Drives Esports! We have some of the most feared and respected teams in the entire world, ready to go toe-to-toe on the main stage. Truly, anything can happen. We know in our hearts of hearts that each and every one of these teams has the ability to lift that PMWC trophy. The only question is that when the lights go on, will they be able to handle the pressure? And so with that being said, sit back, relax, and let the carnage commence.
I love that we have 4 Thrives there at the end, as they are truly the team that's being hunted down by everybody else. The question becomes, Neptura, can that team hold that lead? Even though it's just 1 point, remember, as Max said, they are going to be trying to create a gap as Naki's just flexing those muscles right there. Or are they just going to end up crumbling under the pressure?
I think they're going to continue how they've been going. They look very, very strong to me. They look calm. They look confident. They look very chilled. They know what they want, and they know how to get it so far. So yeah, I think that as long as they maintain that cool, maintain that composure, we should be looking at a really good day from them again today.
I think one thing you're going to be looking at, though, Max, is going to be looking at that consistency from the team when it comes to decision making, because yesterday they had some questionable decisions.
They got a little bit indecisive at times. Me and Naturo having a lot of back and forth about this, but we saw some games where the execution was on point. It was absolute fire what we were seeing from 4Thrives, and sometimes they're just not in a very advantageous position. The circle is moving away from them. They're like, well, what do we do? And unfortunately, if you keep delaying making a strong decision, you are going to put yourself in a really bad spot eventually. Teams are going to be in way better positions than you, and you're going to have to crash to just survive the next circle shift. So I want to see them go for big plays and just commit. Even if it's a bad play, you know what? Sometimes bad plays happen. You have to commit to a bad engagement. Do it as a team. Send it early. Do not let teams make decisions for you, because otherwise you're going to get pushed down in the leaderboards way lower than where you really want to stand.
And one team that kind of surprised us a bit yesterday as well throughout the whole day, right up until the end when they ended up getting a chicken dinner, was Ringdom Garia, Max. I mean, out of all the points that this team had, they had 16 placement points, 10 of them coming into that last game. They cannot allow that to be the same case.
Silas saw that I do love to do that. This is a team that can take home PMGO trophies, PMWC.
Because, you know, the strategy that they're doing got them
No, is this Jing? A lot of people think
they're going to be playing today. I want to talk about some of the
4Thrives
to the owner of
like, I agree with what you were saying.
ended up messing them up the circle.
That's not good. I'm sorry. Like, I know that's putting in very simple terms, but we need to see their bad results getting a few eliminations or a few placement points. I don't care how you do it, you just need to do it. Because if you look at, for example, all global champions we've had in the past, Ringdom Garia, PMGO, surely get chicken dinners. If you look at their bad games, 3, 2 placement points, 1, 2 eliminations, again, it stacks up pretty quickly, so you want to make sure that that is going to be worth one. Like, the two biggest teams that have been doing that so far have been DRX and Alpha 7, despite the fact that they did get 2 wins, which are hard carrying them. But then you look at what they didn't get the win, then what? How low would they be? Would they be on the cutoff point of like 8th position? Would they be out of top 8? It's tough to know.
But maybe is that part of the strategy, though? Because in some ways, when you have a group stage like this with a rotation of groups, you have to think about the mentality, you have to think about maybe different strategies coming into based on if you're doing day 1 versus day 3. For an Alpha 7, for DRX, are they looking maybe at going, we just want to go big or go home, get as many points, big wins, get all that momentum, get all the craziness out of the way, and then once they have that gap initiated, then they can use their second day to kind of just flow through, just kind of glide over.
Okay, but I'm going to tell you why I'm scared about my point just made about inconsistency. I'm looking at DRX in particular. Sure, they got 2 chicken dinners. Remember the circles they got. The one Erangel, the one Sandal. They got gifted amazingly good positions from pretty much phase 2, phase 3 going forward.
Kind of right.
If they didn't get the circle, would they have still had that good a game? Would they get in top 5 or top 3, get a few eliminations? If they don't get good circles for an entire day, which happens to teams, I think they would be way low in the rankings. I think they would be on the second pages.
Whoa!
So I want to see them get a game where the circle is not quite in their favor, even though they're not playing today.
Talk about a Dr. Sullivan Habib hot take right there, Max. Let's go over to the second page, though, because I want to see where some of these other teams are also going to be at. I mean, you got Influence Rage currently in 8th place. That is a team that's also going to be in their last day of group stage. I want to see them be able to do a little more. I think this year, I honestly thought that Influence Rage was going to be outperforming Alpha 7 coming into the first day. That is not the case.
Actually, I'm really happy to bring up Influence Rage because we're getting Sandal on this first game. You said they drop in Bootcamp. Alpha Gaming usually like to drop there. Bootcamp. Do you want to keep going?
Do you want to hit me with a beatbox?
No. Do we have a game plan for Influence Rage to leave Bootcamp? Because let's keep in mind, going into yesterday's matches on the rank, when Milta they were fighting Power, after the first game, they go back to Savernia up north. I think that's a really good show of respect from Influence Rage. I would like to see that happen again on Sandal, because sure, it's only 1 Sandal per day. It's not going to hurt you that much if you go out early, because Alpha...
Tudo que esse cara dorme é que eu para, eu tenho mais
thing when it comes to games yesterday. Yeah, I had a crawl round underneath there. I wanted to see how it all worked. I was thrown out. Yeah, that's why I'm in here right now. I'm actually in a separate room. They won't let me go anywhere near the stage now.
I did wonder why you were escorted in by security, but I thought you were a big dog like that, you know?
Yeah. No. That's not the case. No bodyguards. They're just like, I look like a wandering cat when I'm in the stage room, so they can't have me in there anymore.
They've got to round you up, keep you safe.
But we're starting off things here over on Sandhawk for a fantastic day number 2. 4Thrives currently thriving at the top, and you're going to hear that one quite a few times. I'm not letting it go. It's an easy one. It's a low-hanging fruit, and I'll take that where I can.
It's a staple. It's a classic.
Yeah.
You could work it in, make the most of it.
Yeah. I respect you calling it a classic.
Yeah.
A classic, yeah. Low-hanging fruit classic.
It's easy. I mean, that's a safer way to put it.
Yeah, it's an alternative.
Yeah.
I'll take the alternative.
Same meaning, but of course, just different words.
Absolutely.
Crazy how language works like that.
Alter Ego Thunder Talks very close to one another here at the start. Alter Ego breaking wide up towards that north side, trying to get away. So Thunder Talks in the mix of it. You got King even heading down towards the bottom with Moana. I'm pretty sure Max just said it's King, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay. It'd be a risk if it wasn't,
He's got me second guessing now. I hate that guy. I love him yesterday. Today, that's annoying.
God, 2 sides of every coin for you.
Ooh, Alter Ego. One down already.
Yeah.
This is an awkward drop, honestly. I think when you start seeing shoots with you, I don't think you full commit to sending south. I think you got to go one place only. As soon as you see Thunder Talk, they have control of full of Camp Alpha. What's the point? You got to break elsewhere. That might be just an awkward start to the game for you, and try and work down towards that south side. Now you've got the Northwest Island. There was no reason why they couldn't have played those west compounds. That would have been an easy pickup. I think for Alter Ego, they get spooked there. They get spooked there massively.
Yeah, thrown off a little bit. Seems like Rosemary's got a little bit of damage back over as well. Knock picked up there. Of course, dialing in at the minute. We get to see a little bit more from Yangon Galacticus. I think they looked really crisp yesterday. It's obviously a good start on a drop. Could be a nice way to get them straight back into that same mindset from what we saw on day one. Yeah,
I mean, day one, Sandhawk for Yangon Galacticos. Fantastic 14 Elim throw to pick up there. So it was a really, really good first match for them. Kind of fell off a little bit towards the rest of the day. You can see there. 42 points, though. So they were bringing it back over on the final two Miramars, but the air angles looked a little bit lackluster from game 2, game 3.
Not bad so far, though. Scent of Rosemary certainly in the air. You can see he's still keeping himself above water with some of the pickups back over. It was that initial knock, full takedowns, obviously leaving the free.
Yeah. I mean, for Krypton, again, it's like your entire team's sent out.
Yeah.
No one's with you. I don't know why he tried to go for a solo drop inside of Camp Alpha. Maybe there's miscommunication there. It wasn't made fully clear. He's already full committed over towards Camp Alpha. He's like, where's my teammates? Nowhere near you.
The boys are not to be seen.
They could have easily had center northwest on the hilltop. I don't know, man. Bit of a weird one, but they can adjust. They can adjust.
Yeah, we'll see if they can bounce back from it. A little bit worse for wear. Seems like they've got some to work with, though, topping themselves back up.
But Yangon Galacticos actually leaving that engagement. Smile takes a lot of damage, actually. Coming through from R8. He sent them off. So they'll take the entirety of Paradise Resort. Doesn't really matter too much. I think for Yangon Galacticos getting out from Paradise Resort early, especially when this is leaning up towards that northwest side, you're wanting to get away from it early. It's not the greatest of positions to be in Paradise Resort. Getting locked in there as well is a very easy thing to do. I think it's more of an ego thing as well, where you really don't want to lose that fight in Paradise Resort. But with the fact that for Yangon Galacticos there was a free rotate down towards that southwest side, I think that shows character. It shows maturity.
Yeah, it definitely does. I think it was nice as well because obviously it was the mid-portion of that game one for them where they really started to turn up the heat and just kept compounding it. They had a good read on when to get stuck in with the third parties. Rotates were nice, obviously. Rough early game would not be the ideal recipe going into this. Rigo again, though, it's Moana being absolutely unloaded on from the sidelines. DBS up close, but they give him no distance to playoffs. Zol's able to grab that one. Full commit, another man goes down from the squad.
This is a ridiculous team, by the way, for Alpha Gaming. I mean, if it's your first time seeing them, they have many players that have been up to the hippity top of the international level, with Ziol on the team way back when on Zeus Esports, getting huge amounts of work done there for Mongolia. You've got Top coming through, previously Stalwart before they all broke apart, and Doc there as well. And everyone knows Doc's name. I'm sure even if you're not very aware of that team in general, you know who Doc is. He plays in most internationals. Very, very, very strong player. Now, I do worry though, because it's a team with a lot of personality on board. His vision though, moving in over towards Sandhawk.
Mrs. Vision grouped up, looking to rock together. Go for the burst in. DBS is bringing the baseline as the beat comes through. Bit of a shot back over from Vision. 2 knocks instantly onto them. Marcelo up close towards the window side, just baiting off his teammate's contact, looking for the close range engagement. And it's not ideal for Team Secret. 1 by 1, ripped to pieces. And yesterday we saw them performing far better when they could play passive blank. It felt like if they were able to play from a distance, it was good. Here it's a rough early start.
You do wonder if Fourth Rise is going to get involved on this. I mean, Falak has seen this. Takes a good angle down towards that south side as well. Gets a little bit of damage in. Will finish off that final player of Team Secret as well. But that's a 3 knockdown there coming through for Vision. It's a hard one though, because you don't really want to give up the bridge crossing on the north side. But also that could have been 3-4 pickups, giving you a bit more of opportunity to rotate down towards that south. It's a tough decision. Here's Alpha Gaming though, once again, coming up against GMX.
It's already costly as well. A lot of dividends between both of these teams. You're down to 2 players. Of course, 1 knock there as well, so effectively just a solo. Doc with the nade for the clear on the angle. No real health to play with either. DBS raining out bullets back onto him, keeping him in check. even if they come away from this, you're going to be so low in terms of what you've invested into it.
They'll run back into it.
Mate.
It's not gone off yet. Not gone off yet.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh my days. That is that's an interest.
I thought we'd at least just commit at that point on the double take.
I was like, okay, that's a mad play. It's not gone off. He's just going to straight the building, but instead he's just stepping on it over and over again, going for the bop hit maneuver. This is not footy. You can't kick that thing away. So Alpha Gaming, though, they do lose 2 players. Just Top as well as Doc remaining on the team. Pretty strong combo to have, but as a 2-player unit, not ideal. So already losing Team Secret and Gamax and a total of 14 players. 7 minutes in the match. This is getting hairy real quick.
You mentioned it as well, of course, with Vision potentially getting dove down on by the 4 Thrives roster. It seems that they are throwing out a few bullets their way to keep them in check. And on the move.
Yeah, that's a decent shift for 4 Thrives, 100%. And Falak was having a look in. You're right, you're absolutely right. He was having a look in down towards that south side, but now I would say their position in the circle becomes way, way, way stronger in terms of real estate. You do have this difficulty, though, Jackie, I will say, where you've got 2 players up towards Hatin. You've got T24 as well as IQ down towards the southern compound on the bridge. You're a bit fragmented right now. If they feel like they can hold all that area, sure.
I suppose we'll see if they do overcommit to it. Seems like Falak's still curious if they can actually get anything from it before they back up and play a little bit more for the long game. Could be a risk you run into. You have Rosemary up on the hill as well, just taking shots down, and he was able to find some impact there, of course, towards Alpha that got pushed up on. It was a rough early fight for them. I think losing 2 from it, considering how they were hoping, obviously it'd just be a quick smash and grab, it's not ideal. They haven't made out like bandits.
Yeah, it was 2 fights back-to-back, right? And they were just forcing that position on the south side, which can actually be a really, really strong place to play and keep you in check for a long time, because it's the slope that comes down from where APG are currently playing down towards Kinotropa, just making it in now. Thunder Talks currently playing in the Watchtower. You got Intense Game looking their way. But there's another shot coming through from Rosemary. Doing some great job on these pot shots. 600 damage already into the match here. Lovely stuff, because I think Kino Troop was trying to find a little bit of presence here, playing up on the cliff tops, but they're disconnected now.
And they're quick pop-ups as well. Actually, the shots he's been hitting, you can see how crispy he is from distance, which is nice to see he's still on it. Finding influence here, considering obviously the rough opener they had going into this. Dive in of the top, Silence getting aggressive. Got the nade ready as well. 3 seconds on the cook. I don't know how he just keeps doing this. Yeah, absolutely is dominating. Just from that one position on high. He's been given so much freedom to rip his way through anyone that dares to step up. Oh, that is going to sting. Smited back down to the ground. Up close with the DBS. You feel the full force in your chest on that one, Blank.
That's decent coming through from Intense Game. Very respective of their region as well, right? It's a very aggressive region that Intense Game play in. They see an opportunity, they're going to take it. And they only lose Rafa as well for it in the process. Adrian, very, very strong player on that team. Really, really good fragger. But it's nice to see that Rafa and Silence also having a lot of success there in that engagement. So 4 elims so far coming through for Intense Game. But yeah, Alter Ego, it looked bad. It looked bad. They had to have a bit of a reset there and try and find some compensation. They didn't find all of those knocks and flushes, but Rosemary's certainly been putting the fear into these teams surrounding them.
You love the heads-up call as well, obviously, just playing off one another, have the respect to play from distance, just go for those more solo maneuvers. They're not just thinking, okay, slow this one down massively, look to rat it out. They're actually keeping themselves involved. They've got the gun skill for it, bro, so it makes sense. Like, even with a rough start, just see what you can do, play your own game.
It looks a lot more confident as well from Alter Ego. In the past, you see a lot of these teams coming through, especially previous iterations of Alter Ego, a little bit too passive. And again, it reminds me a lot of Sook from yesterday, where he was just going for plays where in that moment, it was the necessary play to make, but it was risky. So they go for this 1-1 split here coming through from Alva as well as Rosemary. And you're right, they were playing off each other very, very well. 4 Thrives, they don't over-egg the pudding here. They play Hatin. They've got Noki in the back line there. Influence Rage is on the way from that western side. So at this point in time, I'd quite like to see Falak pull himself off from this position. I think it's just more worth his time to hold Hatin and give up the ghost on that compound. Just hand that over towards Vision. They can hold your south side.
Yeah, it's a good call instantly as well. You can see they've got the audio from this. So as soon as they've got vision, call for the backup, like you said, they reposition from it. They're not going to guard towards the circle edge there on vision. And you can see everyone starting to make their move over. It's DRX that are close behind Influence Rage on that crash up towards Hatin as well.
Yangon Galacticos back on screen. Sandhawk Demons, but a little bit quieter in this one. DRX are backstabbing over towards Influence Rage, using the shallows to get the car across, but for how long will R8 be able to hold on to this one? They're heading over towards the compound that Vision would have desperately liked, but Vision is late.
Rosemary still finding impact in the Elim feed as well, keeps it going, but let's see if they've got crystal clear vision on this one, or if in hindsight it'll be problematic. Getting the nades ready for the burst over. Meanwhile, looking rough as well for Fire Flux as they're being burned down, but still get a knock over onto Lil Boy. So at least some influence there back over onto the Rage squad.
Yeah, nades are just primed a lot earlier here from Vision.
Yeah.
R8 does have to back it off, but no one's focused down towards this fight, so R8's not getting stabbed in the back by anyone on that north side. He's got Influence Rage, DRX, Fireflux, who even took a fight in the middle of all that. Didn't find anything off the back of it because they got sandwiched between two very hard, stale pieces of bread in DRX as well as Influence Rage, which is not a comfortable position to be in whatsoever.
Not the sort of sandwich you want, mate. Crumbs absolutely everywhere on that one. Placemat would need a wiping.
It would. Or just removing entirely.
Yeah.
There's no saving it.
Rosemary is literally living his movie immediately.
How much has he done?
It's got to be up there.
In the thousands at this point. Nuts. Alpha Gaming have Doc very, very close by to Rosemary as well as Alva. Alva's probably passed that information back, and Alva will just find him. Doc's down for Alpha Gaming. Not the most amazing start. Definitely some presence was shown, but only the 5 elims on that match. But it's better than some teams. Better than some teams.
It feels like one of these actually where they're kind of just inciting it as well. It's like Rosemary going, feed me more. Give more to him. And there's more on the menu, Blank.
He's just seasoning the team at the moment. Getting themselves some more points on board. Currently the highest scoring right now in terms of eliminations inside the lobby. And that's all just been with 2 players. But look at that. That is a horrible shift for a lot of teams. People kind of wanting this one to move away from Heartend, and Fourth Rise might just get themselves a freebie off the back of this one. They do have to play it smartly, though. I like that T24 as well as Falak have sent out over towards that eastern side. You play along that cliff edge. They know that there's 2 teams off towards the western side. Noki just needs to keep looking in, pulling out the telescope now and again. Realistically, their main problem is going to be Regnum Kaya trying to push up over towards that cliff face and that rocky outcrop. So Falak as well as T24 going to be very aware of this.
This was DRX, obviously. They got up close towards Influence Rage quite some time ago, but they've been biding their time up until now. Dive in towards the compound, looking to force them out and see if they can seize control of this one. Leave themselves with good compound control inside of the zone. Dive in instantly, find the first pickup, and start to at least secure themselves some cover to play with. Vision as well, popping back up. That's the delayed fight between them and R8 that's been going on for quite some time.
Good timing from Influence Rage. I think they realized that, honestly, for them, they need to start backing it up. But for DRX, that was a tough situation to be in. I'm glad that they make the move that they did. They had to happen then because there'd be tons more teams trying to wrap on that western side. Right now, Alter Ego is in a massive fight and currently decimating over towards Ida. Only Emre still up and kicking. This is 7 Elim, 6 for Rosemary. Both players doing a hell of a lot right now.
Well, this was the thing as well, right? Obviously, he's been playing for that position up on high for so long. They got vision. Oh, they realized they were ahead of them. Tried to go for the backstab into it. Rosemary found some impact now. Down and out. All up to the last remaining member. Falls out. They're able to keep themselves in it. I mean, fair play for the amount of influence they've had on the lobby. For 2 players, Blank, with Rosemary popping off, that's big.
It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice, especially with how it started as well with Thunder Talks. I do think that's a classic Rosemary moment. Didn't really wait for Alva to get in a position and just try to gun it, try to finish that one much quicker. Yes, they had to get a move on, but that could have been played better.
I think he was hyped, if I'm honest.
He was feeling it, right? Yeah, he was feeling it.
It's just one of those. He's gone for the solo play, thinking mechanically he's just going to pick it up on himself because he was really just absolutely slaying. Like the quick shots he was getting from on high, you could see. Didn't matter. Distance wasn't real in his mind.
Yeah, try to get Medieval on him, but it's not meant to be. Vision trying to make their way up, but Regnum Kai is in good spots. Whenever we see Regnum Kai, typically underneath the bridge.
Where they feel most comfortable.
It is.
They need a roof overhead. I understand it. Sometimes you've got to just tuck in. It's like being underneath a desk. Let's see what they can do, though. When push comes to shove, so many bullets raining in from either side. Marcelo is able to get into a little bit of a cheeky angle around the backside as well. So he's got cover here. Focus drawn over from the other side as that's Falak that gets vision onto them. It's a big pickup.
Yeah, that's what we talked about earlier. Falak was just holding this angle for that eventuality when Regnum Kai is starting to move up. You can see that cliff face exactly what I'm talking about, but you have a small amount of vision as they make that cross. They didn't quite get Loxy, who's going to step up now. Falak immediately retreats back into cover. He's playing around that hard cover as well. Awesome stuff. Yeah, again, I love this player, man. I really, really do.
They needed that as well. That peak there, they had to get the full commit off the back of it because now you've exposed so much vision in the back line and literally 2 vision that were just waiting for an opportunity. All attention's turned. You can see once again focusing on that, knowing they're lurking underneath the bridge.
If T24 and Falak even feel like it, they could just go for some nades over the top here and they could probably cleave through Regnum Kai fairly easy off the back of that. Question if they want to hold on to those nades a little bit longer. Lovely toss there coming through over towards Toshpik, leaving Regnum Kai now as just 3.
It's the spacing as well. You're right on the money, Blank. They've got to try and push up and fight together on this one. Baiting out the crosshairs. Volt from the back line gets one straight in between the eyes on Silas. There's the damage back from Falak as well. Finding the opportunity to third party onto it. And Vision go down.
Getting the steals on that for 4 Thrives. I mean, they've been playing pretty passive this game, but just still finding those moments where they're keeping teams at bay. They make the good decision. Noki and IQ play over towards the northeast side where they can extend their timeout as long as possible. But there's a clear reason for this. They're holding that northeast side for the players coming up from the pontoons on that northern edge, and then you've got T24 and Falak playing off one another perfectly over towards players that might be coming up from that bridge. So they've got all the angles that they were worried about closed down. They know that Influence Rage and DRX are taking a lot of attention from one another. This is just lovely from 4 Thrives.
Yeah. Like you said at the start of the show, mate, they've been thriving. Once again, it's happening here. Decision-making is crisp. Silence goes down. Knocked out by IQ with the quick heads-up maneuver. He's got control towards the ridge of the roof, taking the peaks in. They've got so much freedom here.
Yeah, it's just picture perfect. I mean, this is exactly how you'd want to play Heartin. Yeah, they've had the circle look at coming up this way, but you don't normally see teams just calmly and efficiently set themselves up for any angle that might be an issue for them coming into the future. Falak's going to go for another peek over the top. Now, he is the solo right now, so you have to be very careful about this, but usually he is, and he'd rather come back into hard cover than just go for a full commit over towards Regnum Kaya. He just wants info right now.
Yango and Galacticos as well. They've been waiting in the weeds, back down, trying to keep themselves just out of dodge until an opportunity to actually strike into this. Relatively quiet compared to obviously their opening game yesterday. We'll see if they can steal out any points the longer this one goes on. You can see just observing more than being thrown into the forefront of it right now.
Yango and Galacticos just looking for a higher placing. I mean, 6th place is not bad, but it's not going to get you a lot of placement points. You typically want like a 3rd, 2nd, or a 1st. A 1st would be nice for anyone, but yeah, getting up towards the 3rd or 4th here would be decent points to have. Pedrino goes down. That is off from Diego. The other side of things from Influence Rage. Has been putting in some damage here, but for Influence Rage, this is going to be a tough breakout from this building.
Yeah, it's a risky position. Obviously, you have that opportunity of knowing DRX crashed in early. They'll have that vision on the cross if they want to go for it. Seeing the attention turned. IQ again, same angle. Just living.
Such a ballsy angle as well he's got. They will have to push off now. But there's so much open ground in front of them. They're just going to be clean on this one. This moves completely away from Influence Range to DRX. And 4 Thrives have the opportunity to do something very, very good here.
DRX get a nice burst. Up close and personal with the nades. They've had him trapped for so long. And this is going to be infuriating Rage for them. Not really much room to breathe either zone. Nipping at your heels, DRX have finally smoked you out.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous hold. Sizzy actually being able to get over towards that warehouse and then just play off that off angle. They knew that coming out from these crates is going to be really, really difficult. So very, very well done. Coming through from them. QXZ now going to peek out, but T24 goes for a quick pre-fire on the angle. This might come down to 4 Thrives versus Regnum Kaya. at the end of it. Smiles not making his way through. Way too far from the distance.
Yeah, pinned down, no room to breathe. Whoa, deep nade. Hyunbin feeling the force of that one. The follow-up. Big brain decimation as the Nitro's on target.
No way! Oh my days. Yangon Galactico's actually finishing a lot of that off there, but I mean, IQ's bought his team a massive amount of space.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that could have been a terrifying fight for them.
Why, it's mad.
They lays it.
Great work with the nades, man. T24 as well keeps it going. Spots out Yangdong. Able to get the shots back over, keep them pinned in. There's been no room for him to move up whatsoever this entire time. He basically just sitting ducks. It feels like, again, this has just been 4-5's lobby.
He's been clean 12 elims on the game from what typically for a lot of teams I would say is a fairly passive position to play, but they've had so much influence. And IQ turns what could have been a 4v4, which was easily third party by Regnum Kaya, into now a situation where they have to get into a 3v4. But look at Falak moving up over towards Loxy, playing on an off angle. He's spotted now. Just a 2v4, and Regnum Kaya could be taking this home.
Silas, the shopkeeper, with the quick checkout on that one. Deals the damage and keeps on moving, bobbing and weaving with the attention turned on them. So the manpower advantage is good right now. In a position where they can build from this. But wait a minute. Oh, the Romeo story. He goes in for the stab in the dark. T24 with the battle back down to the final two. And two are knocked. Battles it out. They're trying to scrap up close. DBS firing shots. Silas from the side. And that's enough to steal it away. It was a good game from 4-5s. But in the end, we know who really walks away with a chicken dinner.
Regnum Kaya, good stuff for them, honestly, playing in a very difficult position. They bided their time, they made it work from that bridge side. The roof over the head was good, kept them warm and decent all the way until that end game. For 4-5s though, I think you come away with that one very happy with the, I think it was 13 elims they ended up with, so a 19-point game. I actually think they're on top in terms of the match rankings compared to Regnum Kaya there. Another banger coming through from 4-5s.
It's mad that it just looks so consistent right now. And it was the split as well, like the way they're actually playing off one another in what was a very intense choreography of PUBG Mobile there. Like you're having everything thrown at you. The kitchen sinks coming your way, handled it perfectly. No pressure, no sweat, just perfect elims.
It's a real clean way to play that 2-2 split as well. And that wouldn't have worked if they'd not identified that DRX and Influence Rage were on that western side, so they could just fully focus over towards Regnum Kaya as well as intense game. In the meantime though, we're going to take a little less intensity and send you to a break, and we'll be back very shortly.
Just get eliminations on board, and that
survival stage, you don't want to be there, man. You really don't want to be there.
No, it's so much free information as well. You know, you kind of get that overview. A couple of days off, you get a watch. Exactly. Like the difference of going into it in terms of prep, like it's unbelievably helpful. I suppose there is an argument for obviously keeping yourself warm the entire tournament. Yeah. I know which side I'd prefer to be on.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. It was something I would bring up because we've brought it up in the past as well, where staying warm throughout that survival stage and making it into the finals is good, but there's also exhaustion that comes with that because it's back to back to back, and you're fighting for your tournament life for, you know, a few days. But it's not easy. It is not easy. Fireflux right now, one of our teams from our groups, which has really suffered. We saw them try and get into the west side of Hartin. Really struggle there, Jackie. Saw them go down very early to Influence Rage DRX, who sandwiched them. But yeah, we're going to see DRX right now looking to go for that rotate we talked about earlier, off towards that western side.
Oh, it's a nice first shot, actually. You see the dive in from Alter Ego, DBS behind the door. Walk through that, you're not breathing anymore. Instant first contact, mate, but Alter Ego at least clean it back up. They can get the res in as well. He's fine.
He is fine. Alva come back up. They definitely want to keep him on board. Working together with Rosemary was very, very nice. Last game, as we saw. But this is not the end of the road for them because they've got a long way to go. Long way to go down this western coast. Yangon Galacticos are going to be in front of them. Many teams actually going for this western rotate as well across the bridge. So you've got Kinotrope just making their crossing now. And it's interesting to me that Fourth Thrive's actually opted to go far south here, Jackie.
Yeah, it is actually. I wonder what the setup is going to be late game for them as well. Like obviously the way they've been playing this, it's been really good in a lot of the individual fights, but I think their communications look good for the rotates so far. All of day one felt really good in terms of decision making. Hopefully that's a trend that's just going to continue because they are ridiculously compounding points. I mean, 75 off the back of the first game of day 2. Really good spot. Heads above water firmly. They're not just doing the doggy paddle.
No, they're not in the doggy paddle right now. We're in the big pool. We're big pool right now, you know. The infinity pool for them if they keep getting these kind of points. But you're looking at like a 10-point average here at the moment. Just a little bit under the 11-point margin, which is an incredible result for an international. Very hard to do. Typically teams that have managed to maintain a 10-point average, it's very obvious that they're going to stay in and head through to that top 8. So I think for Fourth Thrives, they're not worrying too much at the moment. There is something to be said about teams saying that they don't really, they're not minding this group stage too much, and they can always play in survival stage where you do take the pressure off yourself a little bit. But I do think that being able to perform here without that pressure and getting those points on board, super important if you can just leisurely make your way into the finals.
Do you wonder for Yangon Galacticos as well, if it was more of sort of, playing to the best of their ability yesterday early, and that's going to obviously taper off, because it felt like there was maybe some opportunities in game 1 here. It didn't really seize the day too much to really squeeze as much potentially as they could out of. It might look like they might even get nipped at on the heels as well by Alter Ego towards the back line. We'll see how that develops. Obviously a big shift, everyone making their move over towards the zone now.
It's a wild amount of teams. Having 16 teams, 63 alive here, and the majority of the squads are in Sosnovka. This is sort of a different stage we're seeing here. You're right, by the way, getting nipped in the heels by Alter Ego, coming slightly late towards Primos. Managed to find one of the players there over on Yangon Galacticos. And even finding Smile as well. This is a good turnout coming through from Alter Ego. They don't blow up the boat either, so that's an option for them if they want it. But yes, so many teams up towards Sosnovka. It's very impressive, and I think it's just a case of international. You don't want to go for these bridge camps. You don't want to delay. You're all looking for those points. You know how important they are. This is a quick format, right? It's a very fast format.
It was only Romeo and SayCloud that were able to get away by sailing literally through the clouds, just making sure they keep their distance and find a back door in towards the zone. Ulrika, like you said, it is actually a smart heads-up maneuver as well. Just get the full knocks into the convert to make sure we've got the boat. Fair decent amount of loot as well, actually. Yangon actually had a good stock, so you've rebuilt that for yourself. They'll be able to take a leisurely stroll over, join everyone else eventually.
I think this second zone is going to be the one that I'm most curious about. Right? I think there's a lot of opportunity for this to go a fair few ways. We've not really committed to either side of the island at the moment. It's pretty dead set on being Sosnovka. I don't see it going any other way, but sending far out towards that eastern side. Massive amount of water in this one as well. Fourth Thrives can be very pleased with themselves that they headed south to give themselves a comfortable rotate off towards that eastern side. They could even make a really quick swing over towards Nova Repnoia, set themselves up in the buildings early if they wanted to, because this is only going to come closer into the map, unless there is a crazy option of it moving far west. I do think for Fourth Thrives, heading towards Nova Repnoia right now, or at least just outside it, would be a good idea for them.
We'll see how their day continues. Curious if Vision are going to be able to sort of dust themselves back off as well. It felt like their split sort of late game yesterday. Things started to really go skew-if for them, but overall when they can play together as a fully fledged unit, they had some good moments, some good excitement that was on board from the team. Curious if we'll see much more.
Yeah, I mean, we saw from Vision at the start there as well. I don't know if you remember, but we were watching them flick through their map sheets. They were giving the thumbs up for the Sandhawk, for the Miramar, but they weren't too sure about the Erangel. Honestly, there was some shaking of the head going on there.
Thumbs down.
There's a thumbs down. There was a thumbs down. And it shows humility at least. They realise where their problems are. Hovercraft in play here for Regnum Kaya. Managed to get a hold of one of those. Came across late on the north side from Sharkfin. down towards Grandma on the north side of Sosnovka. But since then, they have been moving far into the circle. Prospect gets caught out by Kinotrope, and there is no response, so he will not be getting backups. This is up towards Observatory at the moment. They're making a long run here in the hovercraft.
Yeah, Kinotrope looking to make that one a little bit of Kino from the sideline. Points can be stolen away from it. Up top as well, TT with the bullets down, raining onto them. Use the backdrop of the vehicle for cover as it detonates. Cool guys don't look at explosions, Blank. They're all very cool. We know this.
I mean, Wild was taking some double takes.
No, he didn't look. He didn't do the Patrick Stewart triple take.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. He was just making sure it had exploded. I guess it's a rough position for Regnum Kai to be in. I mean, no vehicles to be spoken of, and it's a long run. But at least they are over towards this eastern side, and it's more than can be said for a lot of teams that came in late here. It is just going to be pretty rough in the interim. For them. It looks like even Thunder Talks are having a look over this way. King sweeping around. And another, the Dacia's out to play. What are you doing?
Yeah, not ideal. The dastardly Dacia being dealt with as Loxy's able to get the flick off easily. Pulls him out of the driving seat. Curious as well, with one of my eyes glancing at the map feed. These late crosses on both of the bridges going to be problematic. Close grouping. Vision most likely having an easier time of it, but obviously for Alter Ego, they might actually take this one in their stride if there is a fight that breaks out, to be honest, bro.
It's a what? So they didn't take the vote, right? They moved across very pier. I think they've read into the fact that four Thrives like to move very early and just get into the map, so they've got a comfortable way in. And also they're assuming that most teams already made that big migration off towards the eastern side. So I think it's a good call. I don't think they had to take the boat after all, especially with this hard eastern shift. Silence is going to have to be real quiet in the future. Pros down, but Prestel G in position. Oh man.
It all gets a little bit awkward.
And he falls through the map.
He's gone. He's done for. Goes falling down in the end. Quick bandage up on the action as well. Sort yourself out. Keep on moving.
I think everyone probably hates me when I call him Prestige. I know it's Prestige, but come on.
The big Preds.
But I will never stop calling him Prestige.
It's good.
Sorry.
It works. It works.
Yeah.
I respect it. Falak lives for these, doesn't he?
I mean, he's got 10 bullets. I don't know what he's doing.
Don't matter. He'll make them count. Watch. All right, watch this. Next time we cut to his POV, I tell you, it's going to be 2 headshots, those 10 bullets, that's going to amount to 2 knocks, hands down.
No backpack, 1 ghillie, 10 bullets. That's all you need. It's not looking amazing, but for QXZ, the QBZ, only 60 bullets total in the back pocket here. I don't really know what Falak's looking. I think he's got a red dot as well.
I think the thing is, he's got vision for it to at least know if they're pushing up.
50 bullets.
Like they've got a wide berth on it where you've got the backline stab in as well. Not just getting the read, T24 up on the actual side as well to take the peek off his contact. Yeah. You can at least just get info. Obviously, they won't have the blessing of knowing the ammo is limited. Couple pot shots, get their attention on him. You could peek him from the side, get the back door on it.
Alpha Gaming, though, making an entrance from the sidelines, coming in from the wings. It is very open ground, though, and QXZ will have the number on it. A lot of bullets for the S12. It's at close range, he's pretty set to go. Sizzy and Soez in the background there. QXZ forced to hold down this entire position. 16 teams still alive, though, Jack. It's astonishing. It really is astonishing.
It's quick shots from top as well. Mini 14 coming out to play. Bullets whiz through. QXZ down, sleeping now. All Z.
Fourth Thrives will have to move out here over towards the northern side. Give the ghost an eye. It's a cruel circle. We talked about how Vision had been a little bit slow to the party. Turns out they turn up just in time. Well, the dinner plate's full of food here, but that's a bit of a saviour coming through from the circle for them as they cross that north bridge. They'll likely want to hold out Gamax, though, as they move in from that north side. R8 similarly making a very low late rotate here. Team Secret coming in behind them. Playzone even just takes down Fajita. So, yeah, he's not going anywhere. Wrap him up in the pods here and send him home.
Yeah, just filling on that one, unfortunately for him. Not going to be the meal deal he was hoping for. So punished by the timings, you were saying, the party analogy, it just comes back around. And really, you are right, felt like Vision kind of have gone in as the guest of honor. They can set themselves up potentially for the position you've fallen into now. And there they are, actually. Good connection across, just playing on the edge, keep them inside of the blue and rip them to shreds with the bullets, Blank.
Yeah, it's been a VIP entrance, 100%. Straight on the red carpet across this bridge and into position. So I could have sent her up, and I think for Thunder Talks, actually it's a bit annoying. I think they could have just held Observatory. I mean, Regnum Kai weren't in really any position to challenge them, and if they were up towards Observatory, had that amount of sightlines to work with, cleared out that south side with 4 players, then moved in a little bit later and just ignored the fact that Regnum Kai existed, this could have been a lot better of a game.
Rejoin now with Alter Ego as well. It's Rosemary once again that's finding influence. Ooh, wow, that is rough. Quick shot. Beautiful work with the DBS. Big Papa pump, mate.
Yeah, S12K there, look lovely. Moana though doesn't want to let this end too quickly, but in the meantime Alpha Gaming have spotted a weakness on the sidelines.
Shots back over, trying to dip into cover to stay alive. Moana making moves at least on Ajol, so Alpha lose one, reply back over as well, ripping out quick shots. R8 feeling the brunt of the damage, but Alpha also struggling to contend with this. Fights breaking out across the map as well. Regnum Karia taking head on against 4 Thrives, Influence Rage even popping up into the commotion.
Yeah, 4 Thrive just out. Weren't able to make that position happen on that south side despite being on the map so early. Rosemary able to find Doc there. The Alter Ego still alive into this one. 18 limbs on the match. What's happened?
That's what I mean, I don't know how they do it. They just seem to make it work. Put it together even when they're in a really rough spot. And this is back to sort of deja vu, right? Alter Ego, 2 players left to try and pick up the scraps. Finishing off the last of the GMX boys on the cross as well there. That's Vision closing down the chapter they started on Control of the Bridge.
The top and the signature Mini 14 making this thing look real nice. As Reef is to go down in the middle of the road. Laura's in, spots him lacking. This is a tough circle, man. It actually is not very fun to play. Got a lot of the map cut out on that south side because it's just staged hilltop. Thunderdog's currently controlling that one. And they're hoping for a southern shift. It would make for a very fun game. And an entertaining game for us as well. Team Secret, we saw them on the stats earlier. Very successful on Erangel so far. See if they find that same kind of success later. We do get a little bit of a southern shift. Keeps Thunder Talks in, but you got almost this crescent moon wrap for a lot of teams on the northeast side.
The highlight there of some of the fights as well that have been going down in the meantime. For Top, barely alive, sliver of HP, got to top himself back up literally and keep himself in the fight. Similar story over for Team Secret that have been playing quite a late game on this one. Most of it's been rotation through the blue, so finally we might start to see what they're made of. Influence Rage consistently popping up. It feels like they're always trying to find some kind of control inside of this game. Getting as good as they get though at the minute, down to just 2 in the battle of attrition. Secret forced to play medic as well, get their players back up here. It's interesting, it was actually the rotate from Rosemary and co as well, resulting once again it just being him, the main man. They took a head-on fight versus Vision, did not go well. I wouldn't count him out though, Blank, even as a solo, room for him to sort of show us what he can do.
I think it's a big shot. Willing to get in the vehicle though, get gone. Morado on the road. Heads over towards top, thinks second about it. Playing behind the monster truck here, and Rosemary's just going to double down here. Drops the deck. Oh yeah, a little bit of an aggressive play there. Adrian will find that's Alter Ego out. Despite that, you know, a 7-point game to start off with into an 8-pointer without really getting all that far into both games as well. It's pretty good. Nicholas Vision over towards Kino Trope. Regnum Kaya on the side, and that's one player down immediately.
Nades underneath the fence as well. no protection to play with as the legs are blown out. They've got to get up close and personal. Response back, nade the compound. Volt looking to get himself in once he's topped up on the HP and avoid the sideline from Regnum Carrier. Meanwhile, from distance, Diego gets vision on them. Battles back, few shots over. Volt's POV with the DPS up close. Looking to make some noise on this one.
Volt's in for an electric finish here. Sting actually on the top side. Taking some good shots down. Diego's just going to keep sending those pot shots through. And they don't know. They don't know the angle. Kino Trump suffered to it.
Oh, the timing on it as well. The slight peaks. Diego's living his movie right now. Like, you've got prime time vision straight in. It's uncomfortable for them. So vision trapped on the back. You've got to hunker down. It's a great angle for him.
They love that Regnum Carrier to hold off versus 4thRize. You saw a bit of a replay early with Silas on the DBS, just looking clean as anything. This is difficult. Team Secret actually have the surround sound system going on here versus Thunder Talks. 3 corners they've got locked down for them. So Thunder Talks are going to a little bit of difficulty getting off from the top of Observatory, depending on when this next circle goes. They'd love for it to send southwest. Pretty central though. Still cuts them a piece of the pie though. Team Secret immediately making an adjustment over towards that eastern side. Still covers them off though, and I think that's the main thing for Team Secret, is that they are holding this angle, which is safe. Oh no, get back inside, get back inside.
I mean, in the commotion, they at least took a few shots back up towards King. But God, yeah, it's scary. Not ideal whatsoever. Hunker yourself down. Stay away from the windows and the doors. It's not what you want whatsoever. Yangon Galacticus back in the Elim feed as well, as one player gets knocked onto their last legs here. So much map control to work with as well up on this ridge. Good vision, especially down here towards the main compound fight with the 4 split. Got a read on this one.
Yeah, Fireflux is going to have some difficulty. It's an incredible amount of oversight that Thunder Talks have. Very hard to deal with. Yangon Galacticos sending across, Romeo behind. Look at the regroup with his Juliet and Say Cloud. How long will this love story go on for, as Romeo will get batted down by Scarface? One of the best long-range players in Turkey.
No chance for the Bison Blitz, as he's dealt with instantly on that one. Say Cloud just got to watch from the back line. Volt, meanwhile, finding an opportunity once again to strike for Vision as they peek back into it. Taking so many bullets for so long, but they turn it back on towards Fireflux. Response there, TT up on top still. Just getting stuck in where they can.
It's a nice maneuver happening right now from Ida. It's a real tough rotate for them from that eastern side, but they made it happen. Got themselves into a bit of a ditch, and here it is. Just trying to take that angle off. A nice nade over the top there. We'll find Say Cloud, but this is from Team Secret, and Ida is getting torn to shreds. Darkin's just going to have to send further down. Take up position where Say Cloud was. Very unlikely Rita gets away from this. That nade's on target.
Slight bounce back up, saved by the bonnet there. Oh, just out of the flames as well. But everyone else is still being burnt down in the commotion. You can see the battle of attrition. We're quickly wrapping our way through the majority of these teams, whittling down the numbers and keeping you guessing. Smoke wall up, try and provide some semblance of cover. He's still breathing. I mean, the amount of nades Team Secret have cast out, they're throwing all the stones.
Just none are hitting right now. Bended knee just crawling, flinching a little bit from the nades, I'll tell you that now. But yeah, I think Darkin actually might get Rita up. I'm so surprised. He got saved by the bell. It's a bit of a wonky terrain there.
Yeah.
The nade bounces back up the hill because I thought that was on target. So Ida actually get to play with 2. They need to be really aware of catch right now. And I don't know if they spotted the nades coming from him across the road whilst they were engulfed in the smoke. But TT is having a great time here. High ground galore. Looking like Obi-Wan here. Tons of vision around the map, and that is gorgeous for them. It is just an uncomfortable set over towards the northeast side now.
Suddenly everyone has to offer themselves up as sacrifice on the Great Migration over. And they're just in the prime time position for it, dude. Like you say, even from substantial distance, just on point with the shots. They've been taking anyone down that tries to fight them. Back nade round the corner. Volt, the solo for Vision, trying to keep himself alive with the 2020. Let's see what he can do.
Nice.
It's a good connection. Pick him off, trying to keep themselves out of dodge as well. The bullets through the slight gap in the window there, whizzing by. Loxy's heart must be pounding.
That's a really nice play, actually, coming through from Loxy, where he pushes up and doesn't commit to the back room. Right? Got no Molotov, otherwise it'd be a very different story. But the only option there for Volt is to run out, so you just have Wild hold that corridor. Yeah, very well orchestrated. I don't think Volt had too many options to work with. And Loxy knows he can bide his time, but they got to move. I think for Regnum Kaya, time might be running out a little bit. M249 spraying off in the distance. The big dog in the distance there for Matcap.
Really just trapped behind the tree. Hoping for a cook nade right on target. The 3-pointer potentially.
Not seeing him.
That's rough, bro. As soon as he pushes up as well, realizing his days are numbered, you get the shot back down from who else but TT. They've been absolutely given free control of this high ground for so long. And you're right, it is the Anakin storyline, mate. It's over for them. Like, the way they've been playing this, no one's had a chance to upset. No one's been able to force them off this angle.
It's been tough. I mean, the thing between Thunder Talks and Regnum Kaya right now is a tree. That's it. Which is obscuring the vision. Good shots from Shing as well. I mean, the fact that they moved down on this as well is very, very nice. They know they need to start getting some new angles. Regnum Kai goes down and TT get themselves up to 12 elims on the match, but still, Team Secret have set themselves up nicely here inside this Wizard Tower. It was one of the few safe positions versus TT. Unless you run outside and think you're invincible, which you absolutely are not.
Well, I mean, they didn't get punished for it, so at least, you know...
There was panic stations, though.
Yeah, it was bad. Like, it was terrifying, mate. But, hey, you got to live in the present moment, haven't you? And they're still living right now, at least.
One of the big storylines for me, at least, is just Eda. I mean, the fact that they made it across with Darkin and Rita, it was a tough time. This could be a nice nade as well. Heads over towards King. A substantial amount of damage, but that was the last one in the pocket. We'll just send a Molotov across to delay. Best he can do. No damage found from that one on the side. So Rita currently is safe. M79's been brought out now to unleash a bit of smoke, a bit of the mist.
Looking for the prime on the
nade. That's a good one, actually.
He does throw off the vision. Come on, yes! He actually makes it work for the first knockback over. Surprising stuff. I thought it'd fall instantly on that.
I really like that. Yeah, that was good. The way he angled it as well. So realistically, you're only playing against one player at a time. I mean, it's just a bit overbearing, honestly. Team Secret, look at the res fruit. AJ just playing on top with some nice nades. Got a little bit too far. Not many bullets remaining now, though. Expended early on as AJ was that high ground player. But this off angle is brutal.
Still just doing what they've been really doing best for free throughout the course. This one, Circles bless them time and time again. They're able to take the instant 1v1s. No real room for trades either, so you're just losing out. Every time they find an elim, it gets worse and worse. Brings Team Secret down to an awful position. The solo dolo. Ooh, nice peek over though. Frankie makes the play, hits the first. Zone going to be nipping at the heels. He's got to get a move on.
Nice.
There's the nade down. And that's enough to blow him out. TT on top, literally, and with the chicken dinner.
It has been more to City from Thunder Talks this entire game. And honestly, whenever they were talking, it felt like whispers to the teams around the lobby. They were so far away the entire time. Not easy at all. A lot of teams lost their heads to this squad playing up in Observatory. And again, we're coming off Sandhog, where it's a little bit of circle look going over towards Regnum Kaya. And again, you get circle look here for Thunder Talks as well in Observatory. No one's able to challenge them. Friends again. So yeah, it's an important thing to consider. Do you want to feed that hunger, or do you want to keep it chillaxed?
Yeah, the unpack of the bag is important. You know, being able to fully break everything down, no holds barred, but then know everyone's on the same page. Just come back in with that mental reset. You see the difference. So the caliber of teams that can compartmentalize it, but understand when you need to call something out.
Absolutely, dude. I think Alpha Gaming's a big one for this because they have some massive names on board. And the one thing I do worry about this team is the ego check. Right? You've got Top, you've got Doc, you've got Zol. These three players in particular, I mean, Reefers has just been an anchor for that team, in my opinion, keeping them all held down, honestly, humble, basically, pretty much. But for those three players, they have masses of amounts of experience. And working together, how does that work? Is that why they're getting so aggressive? Everyone wants to just get into the thick of it. I don't think Doc is used to having players that also want to make kind of similar Doc plays, where he can't make a crazy play, maybe get away with 3 or 4 elims and go down because it's like, well, Zol and Top have joined me for this, and now the whole team is dismembered. It's not good.
No. You see it, though. The optics is there where it is almost as if, you're all competing against each other within the bounds of the roster with one goal as the main focus. But sometimes it goes a little bit, more the other way than you'd want it to. Yeah, it's an interesting point you bring up, and you need to fix it a little bit. Obviously, halfway point of the day, you're relatively far down the overall standings with the points you've been able to acclimate so far. Can't be having that.
It's funny as well because, we saw earlier that from the analysts, at least, their predictions for today, the teams to watch was 3 for 3 on Alpha Gaming. And I even spoke to you then, and I was like, hey, man, just so we're aware right now, Alpha Gaming, they're looking like this because you can't not predict them. You can't afford not to predict that team because if they do have a good day, it's going to be monstrous. But at the same time, this is a team that can just fall dead in the water so quick. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. We're just at 8 points over 2 games. There's still plenty of matches to bring that points number up, but I do think for Alpha Gaming, they're a team that, you have to include in the conversation and just keep watch over them. Vision losing a player early. That's over towards that eastern side. I think that's coming through from Alter Ego.
Very well could be. It seems like they're just in the back line there. And they've been a team that's no stranger today, taking fights even when they're in the back foot. It's looked very aggressive. But even for them, right, it's another team where it feels like they've kind of been hit with the unlucky stick with some of the starts, but been able to bail themselves out massively.
Yeah.
The points you're accumulating just off the elims has been huge for them. So one big game, suddenly you're thinking, all right, maybe there is more to be said.
And keep themselves in the mix. I mean, they've already pretty much caught up to Fireflux in 16. Obviously, Fireflux were having one of the worst days for themselves yesterday, and it's not been great today either. I mean, they started on 20 points, now up to 24 points, so it's not been great on the day. But for Alter Ego to get here on what has been a little bit of a rough start, it's nice to see that they're never backing down. Alpha Gaming, though, coming up against Thunder Talk here, assisted by Fireflux. I think Thunder Talk's taken an early exit.
It's like the lineup as well, though. Vision then in the back, further away. Everyone's taking pot shots at one another, so commotion breaking out amongst the 4, resulting in quite a few early removals of players. So dwindling those numbers immediately. Off the chicken dinner last time, that's going to be rough for you, then falling into a position where you are down to, of course, just one player, no real points already established either. So likelihood of being able to squeeze a lot in back-to-back games and keep that energy high, not looking good for him. That storyline, you can put that one to bed.
It's the replay here. Alter Ego picking up that first elim over towards Visions inside that warehouse, just locked him down, didn't let him back out again. Ended up as merchandise inside the building. But Circle, let's talk about this a little bit, right? We've got Ruins involved. Yangon Galacticos have found themselves out. Watertown, where you got Regnum Kaya currently playing. A lot of fielded area down towards that south side and cut off on the west in terms of rotates, with Everest being that super massive high ground. So it's a bit of a weird one to come into because you have got to go through Pachinki, the fields where 4 Thrives are playing, pass through School and Rozok. It's not an easy circle to be moving through, at least on those outer edges and sweeping. There's a lot of cover in those areas. Equally, you don't really want to find yourself over towards Headshot Hills, which is towards the center here, too early and get it spotted out. So this is very good, much going to be a little bit of a passive first 20 minutes of the game, I would say. You're probably going to have some scrapes here and there around the map. But yeah, I would say teams are going to take their time with this.
We got that little POV from Toshbek as well. I think it's interesting, obviously, you mentioned headshots there. He was getting more headshots than the photographer, mate. Like, the quick peeks he was going for, it's wonderful to see. Like, stalwart in his defense, is right, felt like he was really good in terms of just defending on entrance. Crisp with the aim. It's what you want to see.
Yeah, I mean, he's made a good addition. Because, I mean, Loxy, Wild, Silas, been playing together for a very, very long time. Last year, PMGC London, they had Sarah involved. I think Sarah really melded into the team very, very well. And they were shy by 2 points on taking the victory over at PMGC versus D plus Kia on one of the most crazy endings on Miramar on the island finish. So they've been looking for someone to play with. I think Toshbek has filled that role very nicely, but it is Loxy who is a criminal with the M4.
Yeah, pandemonium caused with the barrage of bullets. Results in the crash on the vehicle, commits with a knockdown.
He's focused. What you see there, dude, like, taking this super serious. It doesn't really make sense as well. Like 66 points, they're doing fantastically well. I mean, they're catching up to 4 Thrives here.
Yeah.
But everything's on the line. I mean, that comes off the back of getting in on 4th place on the spot that they earned from PMGO. Yet they know they've got a lot to prove to the fans.
This kind of feel like that's sort of been the, a little bit of the narrative in a lot of the games we've seen. We almost look at them as sort of being the bridesmaid, never really the bride, can't quite get it over the edge. There's been a few times where they've been able to steal it away, but so many chances where you're thinking, yeah, they're going to grab this one. Really good spot, really good setup.
Yeah.
Like, they're delivering individually. And I think today, again, as well, so much of a chance you could potentially look to lap. But, again, you look at this squad in front of you. 4 Thrives, Falak and the boys, they have been playing some phenomenal PUBG Mobile. Decision-making's been on point. The way they've been holding themselves as well. Like, you talk about the pressure, physically seeing it on players, there's been none of that. Silas from the sidelines, fires out the shots.
Nice.
Squad set up for it. Loxy straight in. Hard commit onto that as well. Mini 14 takes him down. Vision as well from the side there, get hit on by Alter Ego.
It's pretty slick stuff as well. I mean, Silas always plays this role. He knows he's got to move this vehicle. The tires are getting shot out. He's going to move back over towards his team. Real sharpish. Now that Team Seeker is trying to backstab over towards Regnum Kaya, but provided so much information from that position, stopped 4 Thrives from getting a crazy spot in there that they wouldn't have been able to dislodge. So losing a player early like that is just going to make the life of Regnum Kaya easy. They also get a nice pickup over towards Falak, just pilfering the loot crate there. Yeah, this is nice from Regnum Kaya.
It's vintage Team Secret from what we've been seeing as well. Throw themselves into positions and really dial it down. Slow down the pace, look for an opportunity. Never really seem to be the squad that goes in to kick it off. They're just playing for the backline, right? Once someone else presents the opportunity, makes a mistake, then they get involved. To a degree, we've seen that passive play work in a couple of the games over the split yesterday. I don't know if it's been as clean today, to be honest.
I mean, again, you bring it up here, and we've seen it a lot in the past, the PUBG Mobile. You're so right in terms of that passive gameplay. It really reminds me of Inco Gaming, for instance, who have made it through a lot of events just by playing that passive gameplay, taking a center position and just allowing teams to come to them and watching the carnage unfold around them. Unfortunately, in recent times, it's just not quite enough anymore, and you do need to be a bit more proactive. Team Secret has benefited off it so far with 59 points, which is, very respectable, but it's one of those play styles that, it keeps you up towards that top side, but it's not going to give you a win, right? It's not going to put you on that champion podium when it's all finishes and all the dust settles. That's the only thing I worry about for Team Secret.
That's the thing, I suppose, is how long does that go their way? R8 with a dive in. Up close and personal here. Good so far up against IG. Able to handle themselves nicely on the crash towards the ridge side. It's a little bit of cover to work off as well. Restock themselves. Made over the top though. That's Volt setting himself. Good distance on it. Nice detonation, clean connection. Nade's right on target. Couple left to work with as well amongst the squad, and they're going with the staggered nade, one after another, getting it close on the vehicle. It's going to land on target. The mortar shells raining out. So Vision making it very uncomfortable for R8. However, never alone. Backside, that's Fanta getting the shot off from GMX. You got the drive up here as well. Alter Ego going in. Meanwhile, POV of Solus, that's Fireflux, looking to see if they can steal away any points from the commotion that's been caused here. Smokes up all around. Vision rough for them to get info on this. Nade's going to be close. Right at the feet there.
Keep this calm though for them. Scarface looks to move forward. A little underhand over the top side. There's a lot of damage over towards Prestige. And he will go down. But that's the Gamax off in the distance. So stolen away from Scarface. Ketch is res back up again. So Fireflux can continue to play it. They need a whole lot of points here, Jackie. It's not looking good for them. Vision managed to find themselves a bit more cover over towards a compound off in the distance there. But in comes Alpha Gaming. And will this be a moment where Alpha Gaming suffers, or will they take it to Gamax here? They get one res off, one is down, but they're swift with it.
It looked like a huge nade, but it's going to be more the plays that are made up close and personal. Gamax, struggling on this one as the dive comes in from Alpha. They clean up. The Doctor's here.
It's an incredibly swift fight there coming through, and I don't think Gamax had any kind of response. They're going to get 4 death crates to move through. Lovely stuff. Loxy gets up to 600 damage. Will do a lot of work over towards Yangon Galacticos, who find themselves in a crater of misery here versus 4 Thrives. Will not let anyone in to their territory. Lovely addition on this map as well. Those positions gives you a bit more cover to work with. Used to be all flat ground around there. Very, very tough. But that'll do the trick. 4 Thrives get themselves some more loot on board. Not only that, but a lovely circle for them to push this one forward. Unfortunately, they are missing right now, I'd say, the star player in Falak.
Honestly, though, you're going to take that every time, man. Like the dive in from Yangdong, the fact they've been able to grab that one away, get the additional stock from it, still have good zone control to play off. Yeah, there could be a lot to build from this, but it's the Moana madness in the back line, getting the shots in. IDA struggling, Influence Rage as well, getting hit heavy, down and out off the back of it. Rosemary still scanning through the smokes and looking to add insult to injury on this one. Bullets through the back window, barely getting out. Aaron putting the pedal to the metal.
In the meantime, Alpha Gaming is just still giving it on those sidelines over towards Kinotrope, and that is a long, long distance they're sending those across. This Scarface to find a double nade over towards Reefus. That will take one down. That was a far scout off towards that eastern side. At least Alpha Gaming do have eyes on towards that, but now you've got the deadly trio coming your way.
So with the distance on the nade, he's the one with his eyes honed in towards Fireflux, looking to stop them from really creating too much commotion. You got the split, of course, as well. Doc and Top making the wrap back around. Potential to get some free points onto the back line of Kinotrope. Regnum Carrier again as well. Team Secret obviously popping up early, now going down.
Very, very important as well, because they need to clear out those players, and Loxy finds Jaiki as well, and he's been in an absolute tear this game. Seriously good plays from him so far. I think he's bordering on 800 damage now. Silas will even find King. Should be the last player there for Thunder Talks as well.
Oh, mate. He's the mobile heavy machine gun. Like, absolutely on it right now. That's what I was saying. He smelt blood in the water back round towards Kinotrope and hard commits onto it. Barrage coming out, keeping him pinned in. It's uncomfortable.
Oh, my days. That is unreal. You see it a lot. You see players go for it, but you'll see a lot of players find success with it. And that's Yol. Very storied history player. Still making it work. Doc comes up towards the front line. A brilliant Molotov, and that will be Kinotrope burning to the ground there. Alpha Gaming up to 8 elims, and this is why you cannot count them out. This is why the analyst shouts them out at the start of the day. It's because when they start to pop off, it is hard to stop them.
Oh, Hyunbin catches whiff of what's going on, though. He's hearing you hyping up Alpha Gaming. He wants to cool them off immediately and show that DRX is still here to play on day 2, that they're not cooling off. In a good spot overall in the standings, but they really want to see if they can run away with a nice point accumulator on this one. Doc from the side being shot at. That's 4 Thrives to get the knockback onto him. Got the quick run in. Top looking to at least maybe save his mate. Hyunbin, Molly in the back. Flames go up, keep him pinned.
Doc's down here. Great shot through the smoke. Hyunbin takes a nade just to the forehead, but he headers it away. And it will keep him alive for the time being. Another nice air burst, but they're sending one far, and it gets both of them. Doc's down. Top takes a tumble. It might just be the Elims they find this match. In the meantime, it is Sizzy who does find a player over towards Regnum Kai. That's Loxy right in the background. Luckily, Silas is nearby, might be able to go for the res here, but the blue is pushing in.
Got to be quick about this. No opportunity to dilly-dally. They got a clean house and then make their move. They dive in for the finish off onto top. It's all about Zjol. Had cover to work with, but no more. Shut down as they finish him up there. They can quickly loot and set their focus on the zone. With the 4 Fribes POV here as well.
For Alpha Gaming, though, there was that delay, right, where they were just, quite lazily picking up the death crates there. And I think in that instance, when you don't have sight lines over towards that plateau, you've got to assume there's going to be a team there. Alpha Gaming, I think after that explosive start to the game for them, they slowed it down just a little bit too much. I think they need to be thinking about their next maneuver there. Regnum Kai up to 6 Elims. At the moment, 1,500 damage in the match. There's Noki finding one over towards Ketch as they were trying to rotate over towards the backside of Vision.
Fireflux just really being trapped between a rock and a hard place. DRX on the move after their stop to loot. Ooh, just in the back of Regnum nade over towards them. Waiting on the belly for the sideline swipe. If they're not ready for this, you could really be in a good position to cause turmoil. Cook on the nade as well. Close spacing on them. If this is on target, opportunities for the damage.
That's unreal.
Massive nade in, opens it up, commits off the back. They've got the nade primed as well, so it's opportunity for Regnum here. Up close with the DPS, defense on the front line, looking for more. Through the spot, bullets go out, it connects. Toss pick down.
Silas got a big jump ahead of him now. Tries to go for one more, but it's Rosemary. Looking to get into the fight, it's a Rose Hail Mary.
4 Fribes as well. They sense the opportunity to strike. Everyone's attention turned towards the front. They're in the back and they're biting down. Regnum fully out of commission. Rosemary throws another clip in and looks to unload Misery.
4 Thrives, they're not done yet. They hear all this happening in the wings. They're looking to clip some of their own. Sizzy on the barest amount of HP. Any of those nades start to go a little bit left and they find a lot more. Regnum just getting impaled from both sides.
This has been 4 Fribes with the eyes in the back of their head as well. The amount of fights they've been able to realize are worth instantly engaging off. It's been clean decision making. Again, another big game for Elims individually as well. I mean, 6 right now in the lobby. Still in a great spot overall for the outcome of the game of how they've been playing. It's such close grouping as well. Alter Ego, DRX and 4 Fribes all on top of each other.
It's a good third party they come in for as well, because they know as a 3-man unit they don't have the massive amount of firepower that some of these other teams had in that moment. So they take their opportunity. They know we have to have some kind of influence here. As soon as they see Alter Ego on that high ground, they back it up and they'll just let them pick up the remainder of the boys over on DRX. Sizzy down low, DBS in hand.
Such an uncomfortable angle. They're so focused on area denial over towards 4 Fribes. They know he's there, but it's to peek into it. He makes the heads up call, goes for the sprint up. Oh, trying to keep him guessing with the Texas 2-step, but it's not enough. Alter Ego, grab onto that one. Goodbye, DRX.
This is crazy. It's been a 7 Elim match into an 8 Elim match. We're taking it one more with a 9 Elim match so far for Alter Ego. It's been a good day for them. And you're right, they didn't have that pretty bad early start, and it's only played into their hands here. But they've been able to have a pretty damn good game off the back of this. Rosemary with another.
Rosemary bowling right now. On point. HE blowing them to bits. Peeks up for the fight as well. Shots down range. Got to tuck in. He's got cover to play with. Top himself back up. It's okay. A little bit of cover as well for 4 Fribes. They can deviate further back from this. Zone on the move as well.
Aaron, Lone Ranger off in the distance there for Ida. Probably the best player on the squad, I would say, for that team. Closely followed by Darkin. See what he can get done all in his lonesome, but I think his position's about to be revealed. They drive right past him.
Keeps himself out of dodge for now. This is the 2-player solo split as well from Vision that could potentially have an opportunity to get stuck in and slow down what is otherwise a rapidly accumulating speed here for the Alter Ego squad. Noki on the move up, shot from the side. He's got to instantly hit the floor and try and top himself back up. Bullets barely whizzing by him towards the right-hand side. That's where Vision have been lurking. T24's POV here. Still nades to play with in the back pocket, 2 remaining. Casts out the first, jump in the vehicle, try to make the move. Oh, Noki on target, Rosemary down.
From the side as well, it's a great position he gets him round, and almost guesswork here on the nades, and Alva off in the distance hits the deck. That shot's coming through from Marcelo on vision. All of a sudden it's just Moana. Volt's gonna swing round, get some vision on. They've had a passive game here of Volt, but they've got a significant position. Moana's gonna try and pick up Rosemary, but it's Aaron to strike from the back line.
Been biding his time for so long, but finally shows up to the party. Vehicle on fire, his cover's being taken away from him, physically ripped away as the bullets come down. T24 got vision back over onto that side. The last 3 remaining squads fighting amongst one another. 2 duos, 1 solo, trapped behind the tree. Nade coming over from Volt, trying to get that right on target, just short.
He is dropping the fog of war in front of him. Try and keep himself in this when the circle's moving. It does benefit him, goes up towards that north side, but he has to move out of this hard cover. Have to pick his fights well, but that move maneuver actually gets him 3rd place, and Alter Ego just don't check the position as they send fast past it.
It's a haunting position for the knock-on effect it's had in the game, stealing away that 3rd place from right underneath their nose.
He's hitting hard onto 4 thrives, by the way.
Keeping him pinned in. Making it uncomfortable. I mean, if he does go for the late wrap-up, like they've got the read onto him, but right now he's comfortable to stay in position. Bullets seem and connect now. Yeah, no cover to work with, removed from the zone. He goes down. We leave it up, of course, to our last 2 squads then. Vision up against 4 thrives.
They were close to a chicken dinner early today on Sandhawk, now looking to pick up 1 for themselves. The Vision, who looked like they were pretty unhappy that Erangel getting a win here would be phenomenal, but this is a ballsy maneuver from Volt. He gets the eyes on, he gets the information, but at what cost?
The fact he's actually able to get himself back out from the scouting play in the car and top himself back up is miraculous. The peek up from Noki, it felt like it was over, and this is just an absolute head-to-head, nothing between you. Zone forcing you further forward. All comes down to the scrap on this one.
Zone 9, they're going to send 2 out. Noki's got to hit hard onto this one. Does it connect in the first place? Gets 1, gets 2, and Noki goes for an unbelievable 1v2 in the vehicle. It looked close, but the bumper stopped short. Superman letting that thing roll straight into him.
And he should be hyped off the back of that one. You said sometimes we cut to their POV. They don't look elated, they don't look ecstatic, but they deserve that one. A hype up with 4 thrives on top again and again.
Unbelievable stuff. Noki had a massive impact yesterday, shows up once again in a clutch moment, holds his ground in the face of grave danger.
Happy about it as well, they know. Hell of a play. Heads up maneuvers. Man, it's crazy as well, the amount of altercations where they were able to find points for free. Eyes in the back of their heads, head on a
games.
That's right.
And we have 3 very clear front runners. This is what we should be expecting, and the fact that Regnum Kaya is in and amongst that group is good news for them.
Without a doubt, you know, they ended yesterday super strong on Miramar with a tremendous win. They start today with yet another win. That puts them up in 3rd place. We talked about it, 80 points, most likely going to be the cutoff for top 8. Regnum Kaya is just right there at 74. Just a little bit more to go. I have no doubt this next Erangel is going to be wonderful for them. DRX, though, we kind of talked about it offline. A roster that is great when they're doing good. We're talking 3rd place, 1st place, big elimination games. But then all of a sudden when they're doing bad, they're doing really bad. However, with that being said, DRX still manages to be in 2nd place. So the consistency is key. The big games that they're having, like we said, are tremendous, which means, hey, they're still doing okay. That's going to be a conversation, I think, going into the finals. But DRX just on the outskirts of the next stage, which is going to go totally north, right? So for all those rosters in the south, including 4 thrives, well, they're going to have to work their way all the way up. And, well, sometimes it's not easy to do so.
I mean, we were looking at this early rotation set around the military base bridge crossing last match back in the green room. And I'll give credit to Kalaris for this one, because he was sat there with us. He's getting ready to come on in. but he was pointing out that it may have been a good idea to set up and try and guard APG, specifically for Thrives to do this play as well, because it's very likely they're already beyond where we expect the bubble to be, and are looking set to be into the finals, right? So you sit there, you guard out APG, you force them to take an unfavorable fight. Not only do you limit APG's point scoring, a team that people are expected to do incredibly well, you also get in their head about all future rotations. So what Polaris was saying is that this would be a massive, what's called a plus EV play, right? A plus expected value play for all you poker players out there. You're familiar with that one. It will in general increase your ability to curtail the players playing behind you. Okay. You're going to have a good time of it. So not only are you going to increase your potential scoring, get 1 or 2 points in the engagement, APG are going to have their point scoring potential limited to boot. So it's definitely a strong option in the arsenal for Fourth Rise.
Well, they have the chance to do that, right? Fourth Rise on the Western Bridge means APG might run into them depending on how long Fourth Rise want to stay in that location. I expect them to go ahead and move on up, but even still, if APG ends up taking that western side bridge, I do think they might have a bit of a tussle a little bit later on, but at least as of now, still looting up Fourth Rise. They're just going to be chilling where they currently are. Maybe Undertalk, we see them engage into APG a little bit later on. Ida's just going to be taking some shots on the team just off in the distance for that roster anyways. Pretty much center zone. It is getting a little bit clustered up in the middle. You would expect that. But as of now, everybody just trying to find their next location. Nothing too crazy happening at the moment. By the way, intense game for the first time here, at least, of course, for myself, looking at them coming out from the Americas region, looking for them to join the likes such as Influence Rage, Alpha 7, Brazil, have been doing a wonderful job representing Americas. Although Influence Rage currently a little bit further down than I want them to be, these next 3 games need to be powerful. I look for them to wake up during Miramar, but here on Erangel, it'd be an absolute bonus if they can pop off. But for intense game, as far down as they are, I know they got to tomorrow as well. I want to see them have a good game number 4, but it's up to them to decide.
I mean, as we keep bringing up this bubble, it is so important, right? You're going to be looking to put up at least 40 points in a day in order to feel healthy, to be able to achieve a top 8 position. Everybody else is going to those survival stages, so it's not all done and dusted, but you do not want to be sat around those single digits, especially when you're entering the second half of your day. We'll see maybe if they can turn things around here or on Miramar, so potentially a map change could change that dynamic as well for intense game. But to be honest, as it stands, I'm not really holding out hope. They've looked timid so far in their matches today. They've looked indecisive, and I need more from them to be increased in my estimation to certainly to be compared to Alpha 7 and also to Influence Rage as well.
Yeah, Alpha 7's in a different ballpark, I understand, but still want my Americas region to continue to do well. Fireflux, by the way, quite spread. Another roster that needs to step it up. They're not too far away necessarily from breaking into top 8. However, they're pretty far away if you consider they only have 3 games left. And, well, tomorrow's competition still needs to happen, and 6 more games for Group Red are going to occur, as well as, of course, Group Green. But they are a bit split up. Fourth Thrives, notice, though, I thought maybe camp that western bridge. They don't, which is going to allow APG to move on up. Fourth Thrives just full sending into the zone. They're going as far north as they possibly can, passing Influence Rage and, of course, a couple of other rosters up on there. But Gamex, another roster that is towards the bottom. Now, we talked about Power yesterday. Power and their indecisiveness, not pushing fights when they need to. You see them getting stagnant, therefore getting third party, getting pincered. It just didn't go well for them. But I think this Gamex roster, I don't know, are they still getting their legs underneath them? What's happening to them today?
They're just not. They're just losing fights. It's been pretty brutal for them. Obviously, they've only got 3 points today, and to be honest, there's not really too much to talk about with them at this stage. I'll be honest. They just have not been performing. Right. They're losing their fights. They're losing their engagements. And they can't allow that to happen. They need to be tighter on those engagements. Maybe, and there's several ways to it that one can address that. You can choose to fight better, or you can be stronger mechanically within those fights, right? And those are kind of the 2 ways that you can address that. And right now, they're kind of dropping the ball on both of those. They are following in the wake of Fourth Thrives on that north rotation, going past the top of this observatory hill for Alter Ego up towards Stalber, and they will not get contested too heavily here. Alter Ego taking a backseat on this side.
Taking a couple pop shots at Fourth Thrives, again, who have made it all the way from Ferry Pier up north towards Stalber. potentially going even towards the shoreline, which isn't as contested at the moment. For now, they kind of hang around the area of where Alter Ego are currently at. Gamex also another team that's going to be moving up in that vicinity, but we have a shift to the left-hand side, which is going to be towards Skull, Ruins, and so when you notice everybody now kind of has to shift down. There was quite a few teams already there, but you also have that river that's going to split right down the middle, which could make transitioning a little bit awkward, but I am expecting some blood to be shed now based off of this transition.
Teams really committed to the north side on this one. There are only about 3 teams that stayed south, and then you also have APG and Thunder Talk on that south side making these late rotations. This is going to be great news for them, but now we're going to refocus back to those headshot hills that we just finished our last match on. Things like Mini Pachinki, that location that Vision were playing on in that last match, again going to be pivotal. The question's who gets there first. At the moment, it's a race between APG and Fireflux. It looks like Fireflux are going to draw short and play up the road a little bit further. So APG now going to be afforded a big opportunity to play on the south side. A lot of open ground, but you're right in terms of choosing. It is still potential to go north of this river. However, we're going to see probably about a 30-70 split from north side to south side in terms of the team presence on both of these edges.
But I'm a big fan of what Fireflux is doing. You got Catch, he's got the hovercraft. First and foremost, that's going to be huge, especially if we end up in an open zone right late game, which is still a possibility. But they also find the hard cover. They're relatively central. There's a very good chance the zone could shift south and encompass them. They should be set up quite nicely to maybe cut off APG and the likes of Thunder Talk, who start to move in. Still plenty of distance between them, of course, but I do like the fact that Fireflux is set up as nicely as they are. Again, a team that needs a big break. This game needs to go their way. Only 3 more games left. They're at 29 total points. It's simply not going to be enough to make top 8 by the end of tomorrow's competition. Ida, Influence, Rage, kind of tempting each other a bit. Who wants to take the shots? Well, nobody just yet. We're still early going.
Yeah, they're not quite getting stuck in right now. I'm looking at the map as well, and I'm seeing Gamax, again, kind of floundering a little bit.
I don't think they know where they really want to go. They haven't made the play call.
They didn't commit to their north side rotate behind 4 Thrives, and to be fair, the circle did push back down south, so I'm not entirely against it. And in fact, Alter Ego making the same maneuver out on that southeast side, but a lot of teams have made that same decision now. On the north edge of Potato Hill, it seems to be getting a little bit hot now. You've got Thunder Talk, you've got Gamax, you've got Fireflux, and now Alter Ego joining in.
Yes.
It's gonna get dangerous.
It is, and Thunder Talk continue to spread out and go for this 2-2 split. Granted, they're still relatively close to each other, but there's a lot of variability in that strategy. Naturally, it can pay off quite well. It can also be your undoing, leaving you with just a duo. And while we do have a Gamax member who's going to be all by himself, is he's going to be a little bit further north, closer to where Thunder Talk is at. We look at DRX, and DRX is taking the northern side of zone, which is relatively dead at the moment. That's great news for them, actually, for the longevity. I would not want to be in the southern portion or even central at the moment. It's just a bit too congested. For DRX, they're going to hug the northern side and hope the zone shifts to them, and it doesn't.
Oh, wow. This big 2-2 split for Alpha on this circle shift is pretty huge, and I like Zyol and Doc getting into those vehicles nice and quickly. I think it's too bold to hold in this circle as they did. In the previous circle, having that South Rozhok Hill with a split down towards Mini Pachinki, where Top and Reefus were playing there on the south side. Great. They have a lot of control, could slow things down, but now teams are going to start to crash into their locations.
And they are, and the bridge fight is underway. Yangon Galacticos, again, another team that is on their last 3 games at 48 points. They need a little bit more, and this is how you get the party started, fighting up against Regnum Kara, who's been absolutely unstoppable. Loxy moving in. Now, Loxy has been the top, or was the top elimination leader for this roster just yesterday, and I expected to be the tip of the spear in this fight, but unfortunately, losing one of your teammates is going to hurt, but you still got 3 to work with.
Ooh, a nice little clip there from Rosemary to be able to find a player from Thunder Talk that rotate around on the south edge, not playing well there. Unfortunate for them. There's Alpha actually keeping their players in towards Rozhok. Not only that, they're pushing in towards the south side of the urban environment there. Doc with a nade on the bounce, and finding another player from IDA, gets the shutdown, actually goes to Team Secret across the way, out on the east end of Rozhok. The fact that they've pushed Doc into Rozhok, it's It's very bold for my taste, and I thought they were going to go for a regroup, but no, they're maintaining this 2-2 split. I feel like this is going to get a little bit too hairy for their south point.
Yeah, I don't like the 2-2 split. I really don't. Luckily for Rias as well as top, they're going to be just fine, but you look at Doc & Co., who's going to be up top. It's getting very congested in that area. They're going to have to fight tooth and nail. Luckily for them, they're doing just fine, but rotating back south to join their teammates, it's going to be even more difficult, especially when Gamix starts to move up. Influence, Rage, Fireflux, right, who are all within that vicinity. But hey, I've seen the 2-2 split pay off. I mean, you look at yesterday, Alpha 7, they love the 2-2 split. It pays off more than ever. They finished off in second place, just behind that of fourth Thrive. So you can be successful with it. But luckily, it looks like, at least from our perspective, Doc is going to rotate down, but they still got a solo of Zyal who's going to be up top. So hopefully he'll be able to rotate down. But in the meantime, we do have Gamex, Alter Egos, and an engagement.
Gamex have been holding them out for a little bit. Alter Ego finally find the opening towards that plateau that we saw be so pivotal on that vision situation in the last match. The same story seems to be unfolding here. Unfortunately, Alter Ego looking to keep that crunch going, get a little bit too bold towards that plateau for Gamex. They lose a player, and this is a great position to just slow down, to stall this fight out for Alter Ego. They were taking quite a lot of damage from the blue zone. They needed to heal up before going for the next leg of this rotation, but now they feel nice and healthy, and they're on the road again. A crossfire potential coming on through, but Alter Ego look to hop out and go for the challenge. They've isolated another player from Gamex, and they're just leaving players behind. They're bleeding out, and they're on 2 now. It's not looking good. This is, again, just indecisive, floundering play. The nade connects, though.
Nade connects, but how much is it really going to help when you only have 2 players? And Alter Ego's not a team to back out. They've had a wonderful day so far. This is game 4 officially for them. They still have all of tomorrow's competition. But Chrono's going to be rocking around right, but it doesn't pay off. Krypton takes him right down. The revive should be in. And the last remaining player from Gamex, he's on the road again, but he's not even safe. He's taking shots into the backside, and he's actually full sending it out and straight into IG.
Hey, IG know how this game goes, right? They've seen this happen on their own roster. They lose 1 player, then they start to go, wait a minute, we're supposed to have 4 players, what's going on? Confusion hits the roster, and they scatter. It's just not gone well for Gamex there on the south side, and they have not found their feet here. Hopefully, Intense Game can maybe do a little bit better, but they do have to push further forwards. They should be in with a couple of opportunities to do so, however. With this hard south shift, it goes back on in. The 2-2 split, as we hop back over to talking about Alpha Gaming, that 2-2 split did regroup now fully down to the south side. They didn't hold it, but it's, well, as it turns out, for too long here, and they will happily have 4 players on a really important compound.
Does Vision fire some shots? Does it have an effect? Well, they at least will show their hand. DRX forced to go into the blue zone. They'll be just fine, at least a little bit skirt around. But where do they crash into? 4 Thrives? You got Influence, Rage, R8. Their route into the safe zone could be perilous. And in fact, it looks like they're going straight into 4 Thrives. This is going to be a tremendous fight. And you can argue both of these rosters need this because they're on their last 3 games, and already DRX taking themselves down.
Hyunbin goes down first, losing a player early for the South Koreans on the approach, and a second as well. This is a really well-handled push coming through from 4 Thrives on the defense. They were all there, all ready and waiting. Big nades, big call-outs. That's exactly what you need to have, and it leaves DRX floundering. They only have 1 player left standing, and Sizzy will have to send away now. But he doesn't have anywhere to go. He's just going to have to hide.
Yeah, and this is obviously dire straits for 4 Thrives. No reason to overcommit and challenge Sizzy over in the other building. But 4 Thrives played that well. I think for DRX, they got a little bit too caught up onto the top side of the river. Once they crossed the bridge, they had Vision shooting at them. For them, they just kind of went a little bit haywire. They had to crash into hard cover. That's exactly what they did at 4 Thrives. Unfortunately for DRX, we're already set up from one fight to another. Vision, we get on board with them, of course, with Team Secret trying to take them on.
Ooh, a nice early nade up through to the high ground. Vision seemingly having a little bit of a game on their hands against Team Secret, and it's only 1 player on the outside. A lovely hop across with a pump action. Finds Never Alone. The experience now set aside. Volt needs to try and charge something up here, but not going to get tagged by that nade on the cross. Volt pops down and goes for the Bison wrap around there, but in the meantime,
There's the flush coming on through.
Jaiki's playing this very, very well. Sliver of health, however, can he live? Can he have an opportunity to get a medkit? Not the case. He gets naded down, and that's going to put the pressure now on the remaining members of Team Secret, who are just going for the cleanups. Jaiki can absolutely be rezzed, but Marcelo says, no, not today. Vision with 2. How much work can they put in? Well, it seems like they might dip away from this. Team Secret arguably walk away with the better end of the stick. They get the most damage done, and Vision actually isn't over with. I thought they were going to get out of here, but they feel like they can't, and the pressure is really on. They're taking damage now into the smoke, and Team Vision might be able to get the cleanup once they rotate out, but if not them, Kenotrope also taking shots.
They have a little bit of time to play with here, with that small bit of terrain cover, but Marcelo going down leaves Volt really without too much of a hope here, and hope that maybe he can find something, but you're right, these crossfires, these angles make it near impossible to get out of this scenario for them. They're going to have a tough time on their hands, but every other team in Roshok also has to lead.
That's right.
They have to go. The question is when. Does a team like Kenotrope stick around, try and pick up these elims, or do they try and move further south as the circle moves away?
Everybody's trying to hug their hard cover POIs as long as they possibly can. That's Fireflux, DRX, 4 Thrives. They've got to transfer in. Kenotrope, right? We also have, of course, Regnum Karai, who have to rotate down. You've got, of course, Team Secret, Vision, who all have to rotate over. I can't believe it. Marcelo still manages to pick up some of the players from Team Secret. I feel like that's a massive oversight. This should not be happening. Team Secret should have been staying alive, but granted, Kenotrope had them in their line of sights because they were in the forward position. Kenotrope walking out of this with potentially 3-4 eliminations.
A couple of important things have happened during these last few minutes as well. First of all, obviously that engagement on the north side, Marcelo opened the window. Volt is now a solo for Vision in the center of the map. Second, Alpha pushed across the road to the south. They didn't need to, but they took down the majority of RA, and now we've got a fight on the north side. It is intense game versus Regnum Kaya, and it looks like intense game have a chance, but Silas is on the warpath. Pump action out wide, doesn't connect. It looked like it might have been on target, but no, it sails wide, and he will not find any retribution. Regnum Kaya fall to 1.
There it is, a tense game, showing up and showing out. This is the time they start to come alive. Granted, only 3 eliminations, but plenty more they're going to be able to get. Plus, they should come out of this 4 strong, and unfortunately they don't. I thought they were going to be able to get the res, but just falls a little bit too short. But still, with 3 members, I fully believe a tense game is going to be just fine.
4 Thrives just sent into the north side of the compound that Alpha currently occupy. The fact that Alpha pushed down south and now fully wiped out RA, it's great. It covers their back. It may provide an opening for teams like Alter Ego to flank in towards there, but they had their players towards the south because of that push, and 4 Thrives did not have to contend with the massive volley of fire that they may have done if Alpha stood on that north side. And actually, Alpha getting lit up, Doc's too far out wide, and Influence Rage is still alive with 1 player. Diego was there, and he was able to extract his pound of flesh.
All right, on board with Thunder Talk, locking down the stairs and doing it quite well. That choke point, so critical. Obviously a replay from earlier, but for Thunder Talk's perspective, it's great to see them getting active. In my opinion, they've had a wonderful day. I think this is a great day 1 from them. They still got tomorrow's competition. I know they're a little bit lower, but I think they're starting to wake up. And even though they're out, I still feel Thunder Talk is going to be a strong team moving forward.
I feel like they have had a good day 1. I feel like you could equally say they had a good match 2, right? It is a majority from match 2. 26 of those 28 points come from that 1 game. And right now, they haven't really proven to have the backup behind that. They were on top of that massive mountain on that military island position. They had a really easy time, frankly, of that game. And so, whilst sure, they're having a good day, they need to show more. Certainly to be in with a chance of getting towards those top 8.
Kenotrope, intense game. They've been opposite of each other for a little bit, but it looks like Kenotrope might be nailing the final nail in the coffin on intense game. Only 1 more player remains, going to be Adrian, and well, he was way off in the distance for the longest time, trying to pop shots off as Rafa and co were fighting up close and personal with Kenotrope. And well, for Adrian, he's going to be one of the many solos that are still left. DRX, right? Team Secret, Vision, all with solos. Meanwhile, Fireflux, you got Alter Egos, APG still looking very healthy with 3 members himself. Kinnetrop too, right? Winning that fight puts them at 3 themselves. And do my eyes deceiving here? Is Rafa still, is he back up? No, he's bleeding out. But hey, Adrian does come in. He can still do a lot of damage to Kinnetrop depending on how he plays this.
His 2 nades are cooking though, and I don't think that Adrian's going to be long for this one. One goes short of the car, the other one goes behind. It doesn't actually get the knock there. That should have been, but a little bit of a misplacement on the nade as they try and drop another one out wide. That should have hit. Goodness me, Adrian, the luckiest so-and-so in the game right now for Intense Game. Has the smoke blooming, has the vehicle, but at stage 6, that blue zone's going to start to do more than tickle. And Finale wants to try and put him down here. Remove that threat on the northern side. The vehicle connects the spray, and finally, Adrian is out of there.
Well, good effort nonetheless. Dodging the nade, staying up as long as he did. Top 9 for our boys from the Americas region. We'll see how well they're going to do on the Miramar, which I think that's where they're truly going to wake up. We've still got this battle kind of stagnating a little bit between Alter Egos, APG, 4 Thrives. You mentioned 4 Thrives rotated in to get the hard cover. Very contested area. This is going to be crazy, especially when the zone shifts. If it goes north, 4 Thrives are going to have such a tremendous advantage over APG as well as Alter Egos, who might have to rotate in. So for Team Vision, they've been fighting tooth and nail. I know it's a solo, but Volt, he's giving it his all.
I mean, he's got a pretty decent bunker to play around here as well. Given that 4 Thrives sit on the north side of the compound that is south of Volt's location, there are other players as well around. He's actually fairly well covered off from getting pushed from that north side. Kinnetrop is really the only team at the moment that could reasonably push onto this position. I wouldn't be too surprised to see Vision get up into a top 3.
Kinnetrop can have a tremendous advantage if the zone does shift north. If they can take down Fireflux, they have all that open space that they can utilize to be the gatekeepers for 4 Thrives and Co to push up. And it looks like 4 Thrives do run into a little bit of an issue as one player is currently down. I don't know what ended up happening there, and that was to Volt, excuse me, the solo, right? Still managing to fight tooth and nail. They should get 4 Thrives member back up, so they'll be 4 strong. Mind you, hitting 100 points, right, is tremendous for them. So good on 4 Thrives at the moment. They are leading the charge and could very well take first place in our group play.
Yeah, it looks like Volt might not be long for this one. Kinnetrop certainly will be the team to displace him, but he has managed to get across here. That makes it so much harder for Kinnetrop to spot him. Gets a little bit easier for the other teams, though. So Volt is currently dancing through a hailstorm, and it is a very unfriendly atmosphere in the middle of these hills. He will go down. That goes to Fireflux across the way. Kinnetrop take up that mantle, and again, this position is quite strong. And now with a duo placed in here, I feel like it's just got a lot stronger. I mean, 4 Thrives currently have that north side playing up to 100 points. You're right, they're breaking that century. They've basically locked in their ticket to the finals. Very, very happy. But they can play on more. Let's see how far they can go.
Yeah, very happy with where 4 Thrives are currently at, and I think this is going to be a game that they take, in my opinion, which, by the way, would be back-to-back, a huge accomplishment at this level of competition in PMWC. They came into the tournament. We had expectations for them to do well, but this well, not exactly. They are exceeding everybody's standards as far as I'm concerned. We see a replay onto the fight between Alter Egos and APG, and it was Rosemary up top just putting in work, not only on the faraway members from APG, but also 4 Thrives. That was the down that I ended up seeing in the elimination feed. So good on Rosemary to put up that fight, but we're going to have to see a little bit more as he's got to go north straight into the enemies.
Fireflux wrapping around on the north side, across the open ground, straight into the duo, and they're holding well, they're holding strong. Scarface, last player to stand, but with the DBS, able to keep Solus alive as well, and they take up the mantle of the duo in the ditch here on the outside of these compounds. Now, it is all about what 4 Thrives can do with this warehouse, right? They've had APG Alpha on that south edge, dismantled a little bit by Alter Ego, so that is the outside factor here. And this is a standoff between these two teams. It's Alter Ego and 4 Thrive, the major threats in this lobby.
Oh, wow, but getting that knock is huge. Maybe Alter Egos can start to push up. Mind you, 4 Thrives, who knows, do they start to engage themselves? They don't have to move, but I was kind of seeing some nades cook, and if they get a couple downs themselves, maybe they do want to capitalize. This is, in my opinion, where Alter Egos need to push up. Why go to the open space? Why wrap around? Take where APG is currently at.
They're they're maintaining space on the outside here. They have got a knock. 4 Thrives actually could end this fight for them. The nades coming thrown thrown on through. Valak with a bouncer, but doesn't quite connect. Zjol staying alive for just a moment longer. Valak in danger now, coming through from Alter Ego, could potentially be in those sight lines. You can see how close they are, but it is just shots and nades and every kind of ordnance being sent on in. Valak's getting so bold with it.
Yes, and he shouldn't have done that. He overcommitted. You have to assume Alter Egos are going to be on your backside. They look like they're backing away. Maybe it was a ploy to maybe distract and give confidence to Fourth Thrives to push up into APG. Once Alter Egos backs away, Fourth Thrives says, okay, if you're not going to push, we're going to go ahead and do it for ourselves. And now you lose one player. Granted, it could have been a lot worse. If they would have full committed, man, Fourth Thrives could have been in a lot of trouble. But losing one player, that could be the difference between winning or losing this game.
And now Alter Ego, having not taken the option to dive on into the fight, will not get third party. They won't get embroiled in the compound engagement. They have the outside control. They have the numbers, they have the terrain, and the circle has pushed away from both of the hard covers. Over to Fireflux. This is the other stronghold position as Krypton diverts, goes for a drive-by, back into the driver's seat, doesn't quite connect on the shots, but down go Fireflux. They lose one on the knock, but they have full control on the outside now, and neither of the two other teams can take a challenge. They can't leave whilst the other survives.
Wow, look at how active Alter Egos are getting. They are taking a bite to everybody, and they are winning. Rosemary once again on your screen, putting in the work. Now at 4 eliminations, we're up to our top 3 at the moment, and Alter Egos are steamrolling through the lobby.
10 elims, though, for Alpha. They've had a good game already. They ran across the road to R8 and allowed 4 Thrives in the door, and that spelled their demise. For now, they do still have an opportunity to get a little bit further here. We've seen what duos can do, but with the chokehold that Alter Ego have on this circle, I don't imagine it's going to last for that long.
Not at all, and man, I'm so impressed with Alter Egos. The amount of pressure, not only with their utility, but also taking the moment and shining through it. Alter Egos mowing down 4 Thrives. They took down one earlier. They get the finish on them, and now it's APG versus Alter Egos. And Rosemary, who else? The tip of the spear, pushing forward, looking to take down APG, take game number 4, and they will do exactly that.
A beautiful chicken dinner coming through from Alter Ego. They rotate around the outside. They pen in the fight. They extract value. They get 13 eliminations on the match and 23 points to add to their tally. They are the top of their group, and they are on top of the world right now. A happy bunch of towards La Bandita.
Well, Ragnum Karya is very healthy, you would have to say, in the points category. They want a little bit more, maybe even get closer to 4 Thrives, or at least solidify their position within the top 8. But on the opposite end for Fireflux, well, they're trying to break into top 8. This could be a big fight for them, and if it doesn't go their way, well, they could be, in a lot of trouble. For Intense Game, they do manage to get their teammates back up, or at least one of them, I should say. They're going to be a 3-man unit, but it doesn't mean that they're safe just yet. You got Rita crawling around going for the off angle.
They've sent a lot of players out wide here. Adrian's trying to curtail the position out on the west side against Darkin, but they aren't really in a position to control this one either. Rita doesn't have any armor here, or a helmet, or nades, utility, meds, nothing. He's going in with just the AKM here, the red dot, only 29 bullets behind, which means he's going to have to wait for the rest of his team, establish some crossfires, can't just go in all guns blazing. However, he's coming up against a bow and arrow.
Which I'm all for.
You know what? For Rafa, he's going to nail it. I have full faith.
You know, I didn't see too many bow and arrow plays during Americas, but Rafa clearly been practicing, and, you know, they never want to show their full hand whenever they're qualifying in Americas. Maybe this is what Rafa's been wanting to do, the secret weapon all along. I'm here for it.
What's your favorite go-to archer comparison when you're talking about archers? Best archer, go.
Legolas.
Okay.
Come on.
There we go. Well, let's see if Madcap can nail these shots down the stairs as well.
Oh,
surfing on the shield? I don't think so. He's not going to be able to find it, and that's only one knock sent back. That's the second Fireflux player to fall.
And that is going to be tough for them, because Ragnakara, Wolf packing together, it's going to be tough. Even when they go up one choke point right in that staircase, it's still not going to be enough, man. Ragnakara cannot sing their praises enough. They have done so incredibly well. And well, as we transition back on to Ida versus Intense Game, you still got Rita on the off angle, got Aaron starting to move up just a little bit closer. The question is the linchpin, of course, being Adrian off in the distance. I don't know how much he's going to be able to do, or how much of an effect he's going to do. Or Rafa. I mean, we're literally going prehistoric.
He's going full Rambo right now. He's got the knife on the back. He's got the bow and arrow. He's got that Molotov lit. ready to go.
But is he Rambo? That's the question.
I don't know, because he's certainly got Adrian on side,
Yo,
so it's another Stallone role there coming into play. We'll see. We'll see.
You're a nut, man. I like it. All right, Silence is going to have to be the one to really, truly help Rafa out in this moment. And if only Ida truly knew what Rafa is rocking with, I think they would have been a bit more aggressive here. But no reason, honestly. Take your time. Now, I do wonder if all right off in the distance, as they start to close in, maybe start to notice this fight going underway, maybe go for the third party. I think it's going to conclude before that, though. But Aaron, hey, is he looking to maybe make a push? I don't know. Silence has got that doorway.
He drops the smoke there. I wonder if that's where he intended it to go. I mean, it does cover off the back door there, so he could potentially isolate the angles, but they're going for the push. Emre up now to the balcony. Rafa still with just a bow and arrow against an AUG. That's not a matchup I'd like to take if I'm on the side of Intense Game. He's going to be hearing these footsteps. He's going to be waiting for the call. He's on the inside. It's coming from inside the house, and Emre still has a little bit of a way to go. Silence holding the ground floor with the shotgun here. You can see his HP's a little bit lower, and it looks like Emre spotted something.
I think the door's shut, though. Can't see him through it. Rafa can't be spotted just yet either, but as soon as he does, you got to think his chances are a lot better. And Rafa's just up ahead. Ida playing this very slow, very cautiously. Rita there in case Rafa decides to maybe jump out or maybe make a play on the outside. Unfortunately for Rafa, he's going to get gunned down. Silence down low. Not going to be able to help Rafa in this moment. So honestly, this is going to be a true 1v1 since Ida is so spread out.
Goodness me. They have got that off angle from Adrian on the outside here for Intense Game. As Aaron goes up to join him.
Yo, M249 versus bow and arrow and knife. That would, and of course, if the bow and arrow wins, hey, it comes to show you Rafa might be that guy. Darkin moving down. Adrian spots him. Adrian, good trigger discipline. Finally goes on the attack. Misses too many shots, but finally clutches up in the end. My heart, it can't take it. I thought Adrian was about to choke. A guaranteed elimination.
The issue is the ammo count here for Adrian on the outside. He doesn't have a lot to play with. Sure, he got the knock, but it's not confirmed yet. And Nate takes down Rafa. The Archers no more.
No more indeed. Well, here it is. Silence. You've been waiting. You've been waiting all this time. You go to the classic top of the stairs and already down. Rita gets the off angle, takes him out, and Adrian, the last stand, the last attempt for Intense Game to make anything happen in game number 5. And, well, he's a maneuver and he's walking away. And honestly, he can't truly disengage because the question is, or excuse me, Eden knows exactly where he's at. Rafa goes down, and so does Adrian. And, well, there it is. Intense Game, the bow and arrow, the knife, simply not stronger than the AUG and M249.
The standoff there not going well for Intense Game, but now there's a third party. R8 have come to play, and they are going to be moving in from that north side. Meanwhile, the rest of the lobby has been condensing close to this location, right? We are centering up towards El Pozo, as you said, on that early circle, and now with Prestige, he's on that north edge, has got full sight lines over towards Rita. This is going to make things hard, but IDA with 3 players can still live on.
Let's not forget for R8, towards the very bottom, only outdoing Gamix Esports. They still have tomorrow to play, but already 4 games have concluded, and R8 sits at just a measly 8 points. This game is needed. They need to do well. Question is, can they do it? We have a zone shift, and well, for a couple of the rosters, including R8, you got Thunder, of course, looking quite well. Team Secret, Gamex still chilling at where they currently are. You got Alter Ego, the winners, and the amazing pushers from the last game still chilling up on the northern side. Meanwhile, the 4 Thrives, APG, DRX, some scary names that are going to be rotating into a tightly contested area.
You're going to hope that they can make it in unscathed, but it's a difficult and treacherous path out to the east of El Pozo. DRX currently moving up on that western side. They're going for a wide sweep here as one board behind Hyunbin on the road. We'll see if they can get on further. Regnum Kaya, they've managed to earn a point so far this match. Any point beyond 80 that they get is looking to be gravy right now. They should be happy with their position as well in this zone. They should be okay with this spot. Currently a little bit leaning towards that south edge, but they're in and they are covered off for the time being.
Kinotrope with the high ground, in a very, very solid position. They're going to stay here as long as humanly possible, of course expecting potentially to be challenged a little bit later on. 4 Thrives off in the distance. Regnum Karya, you got number 1, number 2 in the same vicinity. IQ taking a couple of shots.
4 Thrives trying to make it through the valley here. Going on down to the side. They've covered off their south flank, but Fireflux pushing up to the road to take more shots, and they clock IQ as he goes for the cross. Look for more. Noki very, very low, but just about surviving catch. Seidels on in with the M249. Plenty of ammo, plenty of guts to go for it, and he makes the play work. A nade over the top, of 4 Thrives are losing 2. No 2 ways about it. They are going down.
That's it, and the rest of the 4 Thrives member just forced to retreat, get out of there, and live to play another day. And I know it seems a bit rough, and it is. Don't mistake it, but they're still in first place, and more importantly, walking away with the duo means, well, they can still accomplish quite a bit as they go into the later stages. But for Fireflux, you gotta appreciate them setting that trap, taking the opportunity to take down 2 members of 4 Thrives. They desperately need the points.
Only Noki now remains. The Clutchmeister himself looking to try and snake his way through the streets here, but not really having too much to work with. Does manage to catch a break, though, and send into the buildings. And will head up to the top floor. Tries to tuck himself away. Not buying or selling at this door. Shuts it firm in the face of anyone trying to move on close by, but I don't think he's going to have too much luck moving on forward, surrounded by Thunder Talk.
Well, you say that, but look at what he did to Alpha 7 on Miramar, right? Just yesterday in this same game, game number 5. I don't know. It's going to be hard, but I'm becoming a bigger and bigger fan of Naki. He is truly the tip of the spear for the 4 Thrives esports roster. And, well, the zone doesn't shift too much. Not a lot of movement. Vision still way off in the distance. You just noticed what 4 Thrives had to go to as they were moving in. Vision most likely going to see the same result.
Everybody trying to make their move now towards San Martin. Looks like we might be on for an urban finish as we're heading closer and closer to the center. All of these teams trying to make their way on through. And at the moment, it is most of the teams in that San Martin position. Their positions out to the west as well, like Regnum Karya's spot. Going to potentially be a little bit sticky. Alpha, they've still got all 4 players alive, a little bit spread from each other, but they're still on the rotate, so they haven't fully committed. As Doc takes a tumble, he's in cover though, and he'll be all right for the time being. Gain momentum again. Fireflux with a challenge over the top.
Yeah, Solus is the one laying down the fire. APG is going to have to stop in the meantime. Fireflux once again on the outskirts using the bus, whatever natural coverage that they possibly can. They just recently took down 4 Thrives, or at least 2 or 3 of them. And now they got to try to go against APG, who is a little bit split to their credit. So they're not going to be able to utilize all 4 of their members. So if Fireflux does play this right, they could do a lot of damage to APG.
Unfortunately, they don't really have too much to work with here. With Solus down, they need to commit to that res. That means they only have 1 active sightline for the next 10 or 15 seconds, depending on how fast they can get back to their feet. It allows APG to regroup. You can see now they have the high ground. They're going to have brilliant angles over towards Fireflux. Excellent intel. In the meantime, Gamax, they've managed to sneak their way on through towards this peninsula of land that sits to the north of R8. This is a pretty happy position for them right now. Look at the cover that they can provide towards their back. They just need to execute on those shots, and DRX are going to challenge.
But Vision being on the outskirts, they finally rotate in. They crash into the hard cover, but so does APG, rotating away from the Fireflux engagement, now onto the top ground. And you've got players with off angles, you've got players inside hard cover, and it really comes down to these players on the outskirts. Zyle taking a little bit of damage, but so is Vision. Doc already going to be down top. He can't really push forward. Vision has all the line of sight straight ahead, and they're taking it to APG. I think they might be in a little bit of trouble, but again, it comes down to Zyle. I want to see what he can do on the outside.
To win this fight, Zion needs to win the fight on that angle. Like you say, on the outside, it's going to come down to him. There's only 2 players on the inside, and they cannot push across the open ground towards Vision if they want to clear this fight before this position is dealt with the Nawaf out on the outskirts here. He has full cover on this run out for APG. They need to control it if they want to find that opening, that chance to move across, conclude the fight, or disengage. The difficulty is for APG, where do they go if they do disengage? They can potentially go back to their fight with Fireflux, maybe try and go over towards the north side of the road, but in the meantime, Vision actually going to disengage it for them. They're going to move out wide.
And they've got to go north either way, so this fight, it's going to take a little bit, most likely might even go until the blue zone encompasses them, and then forcing them to move forward straight into Thunder Talk. And of course, 4 Thrives solo of Naki, maybe even Team Secret, but this fight, I don't know. How long does it continue to go? Well, it's really a question. APG is really the team to kind of rotate out if they decide, and I think they're doing exactly that.
Right now, I'm looking at the sitting of the circle. I'm looking at R8's spot. Fireflux going to challenge for it, but I feel like whoever ends up in where R8 are right now is going to be able to clutch this one out. I would put my money on R8 right now, despite them not doing so well. They've got a really powerful spot with that ridgeline in tow that sits out to their east side. They're going to be happy with it. We'll see if they can capitalize. In the meantime, on the south side, there's been fights popping off. Yangon Galacticos and Kinotrope have been at it. But Regnum Karya now going to join in the fray with all 4 of their players and leverage that numbers advantage nicely.
Yeah, very well done from them. They still have, like you said, 4 players. Lockseed becoming a huge fan of him. He was the stat leader yesterday. Today, maybe a little bit slower, but make no mistake, he's still very much in the action. And taking down Law is going to be huge. Diego now has to fully commit to try and pick him back up. Meanwhile, Wild's going to be able to close some distance along with Tospic. This puts them in an even worse position. But the rest should come through. But by the time they do, he's not going to be able to heal up because you've got Regnum Karya starting to move forward.
Laura's in as well, into the fight, trying to draw some attention, give them time, but Law's straight back down to the floor here. A spray down on the off angle. Romeo chimes on in, and he's giving them the runaround. Regnum Karya torn from the sidelines by Yangon Galacticos. The 2 players they have still up for a scrap, and are Regnum Karya disengaging? They've sent Silas out wide, but he's just opening up the path for them to leave this one. Toshpik, though, seems pretty locked into the engagement.
Karya with just 2 players left. Tospic up on the top side. Smile maybe going up top to get the cleanups, get the finishes. The question is, does he clear his left side? I don't know. No, he's going for loot. He doesn't know Tospic is just off to his left, and Tospic is going to go ahead and just chill out, spring the trap. Once Smile peeks his head up, he might be dead here.
He's hopped back into the vehicle, though, and he may have just escaped catastrophe. He's so slow in the driver's seat. He's on the driver's side as well. Smile, he goes down. Is there a retribution? Is there an answer? No. Romeo's up and into the fight with Influence Rage in the meantime. That is disastrous. In the meantime, though, Toshpik's teammate Silas has fallen. Their IGL leader will go down. So 1 player for Regnum Karya. In the meantime, Romeo's still putting them through the ringer. Will lose 1, and Influence Rage are busted down to 3. But Romeo finally falls.
Yeah, they take down Yangon Galacticos. Influence Rage stays up like you said. The question is, Regnum Karya, well, they're all done for as well. Fireflux against APG. Zion's going to fall down. Reefus also very low in health. Then you've got R8 just above them. And, well, do they decide to maybe take that high ground over Fireflux? Well, in the meantime, Fireflux need to finish this fight up as quickly as possible. You know you've got it down. You know there's utility coming your way. And Scarface, half damage. He gets taken down, and there is the third party from R8.
Catch now, the last to stand for Fireflux. The high ground coming into effect here. Reefus claims one of those points. Zyol is down. Alpha are flagging a little bit. Next circle is just about to pop, and finally, Marth finds that final blow necessary to take Fireflux out of the fray. The west side shift just benefits R8 more and more.
APG going for the res. Oh, can't get it. There's a huge nade to drop Reefus, and he's in no man's land. And, well, surely APG is going to be down and out. The last solo forced to just retreat away. That's top, and in fact, he's in no man's land even outside of the current zone. He's got Thunder Talk in front of him. He is all but done for unless he makes some miraculous plays a little bit later. Meanwhile, Influence Rage, who have miraculously stayed alive with just 2 players, putting up a heroic effort here against DRX and Co.
It is still, for me, a story of how far can R8 go in this match, right? They've got a lot of control. We saw how much power they had down to that south side approach. Teams like Thunder Talk gonna have to make a similar play here. They do have a little cut of the circle, still on the outskirts of San Martin down to the south side, but R8 still have so much influence over a lot of this game, and I'm hoping that they can do a little bit more. Try and stand up, like we said we wanted to see.
Good shots onto Gamix. That's going to be another one down. Just 2 more remains. Diego keeping last remaining 2 at bay. Smoke down maybe to go ahead and retreat a little bit, reposition, which is exactly what he's going to do. By the way, update on 4 Thrives. It was Naki who was the solo. Not going to make a heroic effort in the urban landscape. He ends up getting taken down. Meanwhile, again, back on board with Diego and Influence Rage. Maybe a drive-by, pick up Lil Boy, get out of here. It's a possibility. It's something they can do if they choose to reposition. But the question is, where do they go? I think the fight is right here.
Ooh, Prestige does get clocked, and it's Alter Ego from distance. So it may not be a flush here. An ID can go and get that res for R8, but that could potentially be an opening on the south side. Vision have wrapped around. Thundertalk could potentially poke their noses in. So danger abound on that south edge for R8. 2 teams of 4 will look to go for it. Here's a replay of how Fireflux fell. Marth just lighten them up. You can see the nades from the low ground and puts that nade in as well. Fireflux in a really tricky rotate approach there. It's such an open hillside. Yeah, they didn't have too many options.
Yeah, I felt like they had their back against the wall for the longest time as well. You know, every time we were on board with them, they were forced to set a trap and, well, spring it just in the right moments. And one was against 4 Thrives, and then, well, they had that next opportunity against another roster. Back on board with R8. Vision down low, and the utility is just hurting them so much. Marcelo forced to crawl. Can anyone from Vision get him? Well, at least as of now, not yet. And plus, you got Noof, who's going to be way off in the distance. So for R8, loving their positioning, loving where they currently stand. And mind you, still 4 players remaining. This is the best game R8 has had today.
Certainly is. It is a little bit of a turnaround for them. They've got this strong position, and as I said, it is a question of what they can do with it. Vision crunching into that same position Fireflux held, trying to use that back angle to help, but the blue zone's going to push Noof out, and now they're going to have to go for it. They do manage to go for the approach and do open up with a knock towards Ida, but Marth is still there, and Damar is ready for the res. The north side a little bit more exposed, but nobody's pushing from that angle. Nades on in aren't quite connecting, and Vision can't get their foot in the door.
Well, Marcelo's back up, though, and that's a huge boon for them, in my opinion. We've watched Marcelo make some wonderful plays, and, well, he can do exactly the same here. The question is, how do you penetrate the top of this hill? And it seems almost impossible. And you mentioned Marth, right? Marth on that off angle, too, is, well, obviously hurting, and, well, we do see R8 is going to be able to recover. And Vision doesn't have the confidence, nor do they have the ability at the moment to push up and punish R8 with the down.
Thundertalk are pushing in, though, as well. They're trying to move on up, and you can see they have now just crested. They pushed Marth off location. This is worse for Vision, though, because it means it's now a full 4 squad on this angle, taking the shots out wide. And Team Secret, like you say, pushing up from the east side, could crest this ridgeline. It is a big test for R8 now, as 3 teams bear down upon them.
Yes, R8, they're going to have to put up a wonderful fight, and I honestly believe that they can do it. The good news for R8 is they don't have to leave this compound. They can stay where they currently are. Everyone else, well, they're not feeling too comfortable because their back is exposed. This is going to happen to you with Thundertalk, you mentioned, coming onto the backside now. Vision forced to focus their attention up ahead. King, though, is looking at a wave of nades, and he's forced to retreat.
Moves out to the side, sidesteps them. Sheng nearly tumbles himself down the hill into another, but only takes a little bit of damage from it instead. A nice hold out there from Thundertalk to keep things going for R8's hold on the north side, who have taken another knock, but they just keep funneling these reses on through.
Thundertalk forced to just take a little bit of a break at the moment, where they crest over that hill to challenge Vision once again. For R8, you know, they don't have to move. They're just staying where they are currently at. On the northern side, DRX and Alter Egos might be getting into a bit of a scuffle themselves, and they actually are, with Alter Ego once again onto the high ground. They have done such a great job in their positioning, and the confidence boost that they got from the last game must have been tremendous.
It certainly would have been. Their play was seemingly impeccable coming on through for them. Thundertalk on the south side still trying to hold out Vision. There are teams here today who have really impressed, and I mean Alter Ego, yes, you're right to bring them up, right? In that context, they are outperforming almost everybody else when it comes to the averages. Well, in fact, they are outperforming everybody else when it comes to the averages. They are up to a 13-point average, I believe?
Right, yeah.
Something like that, something in that sort of order. They have done incredibly well so far, more than that, in fact, on their first 4 matches. And we'll see what more they can do today. Are they going to be able to overtake Alpha 7 on their 6-match record?
It's a question, and that would be a big statement without question. You look at Alpha 7 and what their history and what they've got. Lil Boy finally gets active onto DRX. Lil Boy influence Rage, right? They've been going through the blender. They've had such a tough time. Really, the only thing Lil Boy could do in that moment was just get 1 elimination, 1 additional point. But it did hurt DRX quite a bit, because now they're down to a solo.
They are not going to have a good time. DRX eliminated on the north side, and that leaves Alter Ego a little bit more free and clear. With all 4 of their players alive, they'll be happy about that one. They're up to 54 points on those 3 elims, adding to the 51. It's Thundertalk and Vision both trying to get up this hillside.
They just can't.
It's just too hard with R8 on the front of it. It's going to be nigh on impossible to make that work. On the descent towards the center of the circle, Alter Ego take a knock to Rosemary, but they'll pick that back up nice and quickly. Only one player from Gamax left.
Yeah, that's it. And he's going to put up a wonderful fight, but I just don't know how much of a success he's going to have. I mean, Alter Egos have so much range on him. They can just funnel him in and just takes the bus, gets absolutely melted down. Surprisingly stays alive for a little bit longer, but it's only just, you know how this story's going to end.
Krypton, nade, cooking. The pin is pulled. Arthur does manage to get the heel off and the reposition away from the bus, but they are bearing down upon him. He's going to lay in wait and try and look for a point here. Spots Krypton on the approach in the buggy, but gives his position away. And with a clenched fist, Arthur goes down.
Well, good effort nonetheless. Galaxy Sports now out, and well, we're getting down to, of course, our top 6 teams, and R8 still has center zone along with that hard cover, and the story between ThunderTalk and Vision still remains. Neither team able to get up top because of R8's positioning. It's so tough for them, and honestly, it would be a miracle if any of these rosters don't cannibalize each other.
It seems like ThunderTalk are going to try and draw that first rotate out here, moving up with the vehicle towards the compound, but R8, I feel like they've been very disciplined on their hold here. 2 players now to follow the crossing, and they cut across the Vision sight lines and will move now 3 players into a position to go for the push over towards that R8 position, potentially making it over the open ground here.
What Alone's up to, though. I think he's been spotted. Volt, good shots onto one from ThunderTalk just up ahead, but not enough to get the drop. Plenty of damage out. One player from Alter Egos, mind you, is down, and they're crashing in onto Ida. Alter Egos getting active once again, aggressive, much like they did before, but it looks like Ida is winning those engagements, and, well, they only win them for so much. Alter Egos 2 downs, but they should be able to recover. Meanwhile, for ThunderTalk, Vision finally pushing against them. Tons of utility being out, but it looks like Vision are slowly going down.
The graveyard of Fireflux becomes the terminal location for 2 players of Vision as well, and now they have to play into a 2 versus 3. They find the re-knock onto Xing and the spray down towards ThunderTalk, but it is a shooting gallery, and a huge nade comes over to answer the question of what can be done here. It's R8 sending more ordnance over the top, and a third party from Alter Ego.
Yeah, beautiful opportunity for R8. They sniff it out, they push forward, they get the finishes, they take the players down, but like you said, Alter Ego's now starting to crash in. They gave up the compound, and now they have it.
R8 now being pushed to the borders. They have to turn their attention over to the west as Alter Ego flow around the edge. Team Secret, they're going to be biding their time. They are chilling on the outskirts right now, but the fight is cracking on.
Rosemary, the hero from the last game, the one who was able to take the fight to so many different rosters. Now on your screen, Damar laying fire through the doorway, saying, don't come through here. I'm taking you down if I can. Up close and personal, CQC fights. It's going to get tense, but slowly but surely, Alter Egos continue to push forward, and R8 has no choice but to just bunker up and hold on tight.
Rosemary forward position for Alter Ego. Damar up to the wall as well for R8. They've been holding this compound like their lives depend on it. R8 have been admirable in this position, but Rosemary wants to change that story. Rewrite something here or there, but he goes down low. The challenge with the shotguns works out, and another player from R8 fell off in the distance, but they're getting the res onto Mark. The lead changes it, and Prestige goes down too. R8 finally getting pushed aside, and who else but Alter Ego? A huge turn up for them as Moana can get res too. Team Secret still on the outside, thinking, you guys handle that. We'll take a second place.
But let's also not forget ThunderTalk managed to get a couple of reses. 2 are up, and they're going to be challenged from another player from Alter Egos who looks to be getting the cleanups. Rosemary, step aside. Oliva is tearing it up. Now R8 down, just operating on fumes with only 1 player remaining, but still manages to make it in the top 3. You mentioned Team Secret biding their time. While they can only do it for so long, they now have to get active.
They have got up to the ridgeline. It's open ground, a couple of rocks maybe. There's potential for them to send up to the building that R8's last player, ID, sits inside of. If they can make that crossing, they have a little bit more of an opportunity here. The question is, can they ladder up? Rosemary now on guard. I think they know that there's a team off to the north side.
Quiet down a little bit, only for a bit though. Good shots from ID7 onto the remaining players Alter Ego's up ahead. Here comes Zeus, though. Big nade up top. Connection, no, not just yet. But at least he managed to get inside some hard cover, which means up close and personal in the CQC fights, he could do some damage.
Low armor health as well as no helmet on the top side there for the last player of R8, the last bastion of hope. Alter Ego want to challenge this spot as well. Oh, Frankie actually chiming in on the off angle. Krypton goes down, gets flushed, but there is a response, and Alva takes him down in return. So now solos for Alter Ego to handle for a potential back-to-back chicken dinner. It's the fashion of the day. You win one, you win another. You buy one, you get one free. I said you buy one, you get one free.
You love the deal, baby. Free 99. Best price out there. ID7 from R8. He doesn't want to move, but I will say he's been... Oh, and he gets melted from a distance, and it's all but over with as Alter Egos are going straight for the winner chicken dinner. However, we have seen solo plays, and they are magnificent, and Zeus is looking to do just that.
Xerus moving in, a 1 versus 3 around the inside, and he goes down. Of course, they shut it out, and it is all guns blazing here. Alter Ego topped their own score from the last match. It was only 23 last match. Nah, let's go again. And with that game, they have put up a momentous scoreline here on a single day. They've still got one more game to play. They are over 60 points. I think they're over 70 points.
Yeah.
They are potentially pushing to an 80-point boundary in a single day of games.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Absolutely stunning. Alter Egos looking like the top dogs. We talk about 4 Thrives and how incredible they are and how incredible they have been, and there's no disputing that. We talk about how powerful Alpha 7 is based off of their day 1 performance. But Alter Egos, a new challenger has approached, and Alter Egos are looking like the top dogs themselves. Could very well qualify off of day number 1 of competition for Group Green. Phenomenal job for Alter Egos, and Rosemary leading the charge. We're going to a break. When we come back, the final game of the day will be underway.
Does have a bit of a statistical outlier smell to it, you know. It could potentially get a little bit more stinky towards the rest of today and tomorrow as well.
Yes.
They do have to keep up this pace
Right.
in order to keep that metric going. But for now, they're going to be very, very happy with themselves, and rightly so.
Okay, here we are, game number 6, and well, already we're seeing a snipe come out as one is going to go down from Gamix, who has been unable to get anything going today. To put it in perspective, we are on game 6. They are on 5 points. If they get 1 point here, they're averaging 1 point per game, which just is not going to be enough. They're obviously going to have to come back and do better. They're not the only ones, though, towards the bottom. Kinnetrop as well as IG, intense game. But R8 showing a little bit of life in the last game. That excites me. Maybe for this final game, who knows, they can have a pop-off, get towards 40, setting them up very healthily, going for the top 8 run once Group Red comes into play tomorrow. But for R8, I really do think that last game was a huge confidence booster. Second place, maybe they could have done a couple of things better. Did they need to push, of course, the likes of the teams on the outskirts? Maybe not, but they did what they did. They finished in second. We're still very happy with that. I think they have new life.
They got a very healthy elim count, you're right, and a second place is definitely nothing that you want to turn your nose up at, right? It is still a very nice addition towards the point scorings, and in my mind, I feel like R8 were never a team I was looking at for top 8 coming into this one. So pushing towards that, I don't think is something that I'm sort of considering for them, but you're right in terms of that confidence boost, moving towards survival stages where 8 out of the 16 remaining teams will make it. So the question you have to ask yourselves basically is, who are the bottom 8 teams? Because those are the teams we will not be seeing in the finals. And R8, I feel like they might have been in that conversation, right, to be in that bottom 8 bracket. But with that game, they can start to fuel the gas tank, see if they can keep up pace and keep things going, because they're going to have to get, first of all, away from influence range.
Yeah, that's the question. Can they get away? And I think they'll be just fine. Influence range, you go ahead and park the bus in this compound. R8 will continue to disengage themselves a little bit further away. No problems there. We did see a drop in the elimination feed for Ragnar Karya, and that's going to be Silas, a guy that has quite a bit at stake, right, when it comes to this event, trying to go for the Triple Crown. And while the chance is absolutely still there, second place looking very healthy, and the point should be at that point threshold for top 8. But Silas going down this early, well, begs the question of what the rest of the game is going to look like for them. And that was a long shot coming out from Alone in Team Vision.
Hitting them with, I think, the most aesthetically pleasing gun in the game.
Is that right?
The Winchester there. Just I love the lever action sound, that shot, that the look of the scope as well. It's such a unique gun. It's so bad, but you just like it's
all that build up for it. It's
aesthetically pleasing. Everything about it is brilliant, except for how good it is. Yeah, I don't know. Buff the Winchester. That's what we're starting with.
Buff it. Buff the bow too. Buff the bow too.
Hey, look, stop hopping on my train.
Hey, I'm here, man. I'm riding with you, baby. Riding with you all tournament long. Well, at least for Silas, I believe he gets picked back up. No, he does not, excuse me. He's fully down and out. That's going to hurt for the final game, of course, for Group Yellow in regards to Ragnar Karya. But that's okay. They still have 3 strong, 81 points, and a chance to finish off very, very strongly if they do. DRX coming out from the southern portion into APG. Kinetrup also doing the same thing. Meanwhile, for Yangon Galacticos, they've got the high ground and infinite vision.
That sounds pretty scary. Infinite vision, seeing everything?
Everything.
Goodness me. I mean, that sounds like
he's seeing Ghost right now.
He's taking out the tires.
Taking out the tires, that's right.
On the vehicle over across the way, making sure no rotates without their say-so. Nice stuff.
Let's go, crowd. Get loud. Love you guys out there holding up the signs. We're getting active here in Riyadh. And tell you what, the crowd loves the games. Tomorrow's going to be packed full. Home team comes back once again on the stage.
True.
It's going to be insane.
They do need to pick up the pace, though, for the Falcons.
I 100% agree.
They have maybe dropped the ball a little bit. They had 1 or 2 showings, but it's not been ideal. We'll have to wait for tomorrow to see if they can get up towards the top 8, because we were talking about teams that we were considering in various conversations, and Falcons are definitely a team
Absolutely.
that I would have put in my top 8. I'm not going to speak for you.
No, I agree.
I think most people would put them into their top 8 coming into those finals, so we'll have to wait and see if they can stand up to the mark. And the mark is being moved right now by these teams towards the top, right? We've got 4 teams coming now for Group Yellow. 4 Thrives, Ragnar Karya, DRX, and Team Secret, all of whom are on that boundary of where we're expecting that bubble to be. The question of how many points they can put up in this match will be the answer to where we're, it will be helping to solidify the answer of where we expect this bubble to be. And at the moment, around that 80-point boundary seems to be relatively secure. But I didn't really expect Team Secret to be able to keep pace here. I feel like they haven't done anything today, but all of a sudden, here they are.
Absolutely. Team Secret have been consistent, right? That's what's key.
You know how they've done it?
They podiumed, by the way, a couple of times today already, right? More specifically on that Erangel second place. So they've done quite well, but I mean, I'm saying all that. How did they do it? Go ahead and give me the answer.
That's a secret, man.
Stop it. Why did I fall into that? You're ridiculous. Here we go.
I feel like you knew what was going to happen.
I had no idea.
Okay.
I'm oblivious.
Yeah, fair enough. I did keep it a secret. All right. That's not going to be in the same compound. So where they end. I mean, drop location, fine, sorted. Didn't need to move too much. And they will be able to play fairly central and chill out here again for the time being.
Just for the time being anyways. Taking a look at the map, I notice alter egos off to the right-hand side, and I get excited now that I start to, and I've definitely had a lot of opportunities today at least to watch alter ego. They remind me a lot of like aggressive rosters like Alpha 7, for example, right? Those gatekeeping teams. They obviously like to be a bit more central but they're highly aggressive. And one thing about Alter Egos is when they do make a push, they do it very confidently because they have a lot of great slayers. And again, Rosemary has been that guy. Now, have we seen Alter Egos like make some mistakes with their aggression? Yes, but we've also seen them thrive as well.
Rosemary's the second top fragger. He's played 6 games less than everybody else there.
Yeah.
That is nuts. The guy's insane.
Aggression. And again, I love that. I really do. Now, it's a double-edged sword. Okay, you're too aggressive, it turns into recklessness, you run into trouble, right? You get punished. They're going to have to find that balance, but at least today, there is no balance. It's all aggression, and they're doing it so very well, and they're punishing every single roster. It very well could be taking maybe advantage of the nerves for some of the rosters who are playing for the first time on the stage.
Potentially could be. I mean, you do need to sort out those nerves, especially when you get to this sort of phase of the tournament. I think everybody here should have played in a LAN final at some point. But hopefully they can keep their nerves. The longer distance you travel, the more nervous you get. That's just a direct correlation, directly proportional.
Without a doubt, the closer I got to you, the more nervous I got. The more distance, the better I got. Joking, APG running into trouble, and this could be very tough. A team that needs to at least get a little bit more points, I think, to feel more comfortable breaking into top 8, going into tomorrow's competition. They're going to have to go at it with 3. Kinetrup also losing a player, maybe even 2, as we start to see Thunder Talk wake up once again. A team that played the final end zone so well in the previous game, now doing it once again, and they're taking it to 2 teams simultaneously.
There we go, nades over the top. Looking for the shutdown here, and Reefus with the spray down. Alpha Gaming are chiming in, so a pincer, a vice grip around the position, but Kenotrope are able to squirt out the side there and just get away back towards their backstop position. Only though with 2 players alive.
Let's look at Ida. Ida, a team that 3rd place in the last Miramar. Rita dropping, unfortunately. Chance to get back up, maybe, but R8 is on the opposite side of the compound, so Rita most likely going to be completely down and out. We transfer back over towards Thunder Talk, again, who is challenging APG just up ahead, and it looks like they are looking to hunt down Reefus, take him out. The solo remaining, but gets an off angle, fires some shots, but it doesn't matter. Maybe it was a bait that pays off. Thunder Talk taking APG out.
Brilliant stuff, and that is great news for them as well. Up to 39 points now for Thunder Talk. They are pushing boundaries here on their first day, and they will end the first day for Alpha Gaming. They will draw up on 38 points, a respectable total. It is right on that boundary of qualification in top 8 though.
All right, we look at the next zone dropping out. By the way, Rita did get back up for Ida Esports, so Rita will live to fight yet another day against R8's 4 stack that is just opposite of them in the compound. The zone will shrink down, still centralized. When we're talking about Thunder Talk, they don't really have to go to anywhere. They can kind of fill out how this R8 Ida fight is going on. But if I know Thunder Talk, I know they're waiting for the perfect opportunity to crash in and third party.
Emre with the sightlines over towards Ida. Just not taking those shots, doesn't have the team backup. It's really difficult, especially with those DMRs, to go for those shots. You know it's unlikely that through a sliver like that, you're going to be able to get that full knock. So generally a better idea to get a team shot going. Loxy, Regnan Kaya going to lose a player in the meantime on the north side of this engagement. And R8 going to be able to chill out just that little bit more.
Just a little bit more. A line of sight. The shot finally fired. Marth gets away. Good on him, but he's going to burn through some much-needed meds that he's most likely hoping that he can get. Alter Egos, by the way, rotating in. They split up just a little bit, but they're getting dangerously close to potentially going into this R8 Ida, maybe even Thunder Talk engagement that is starting to culminate around this compound. So it's going to get quite busy, especially if that's where the next zone goes. This compound, this area is going to be insanity. And speaking of Alter Egos, will Influence Rage want to go ahead and test the waters.
Yeah, on this east side, the hills that stretch from Picado up towards San Martin. They are just going to chill out for the time being. Rosemary needed to get a res sent his way, but that's being picked up as we speak. They will be back on their feet again. So disengagement coming through from Alter Ego. Not going to get embroiled with Influence Rage on the north side, but the question is, where do they go here? It's a difficult decision to make. There's not too many super strong positions that aren't already occupied now.
DRX, Magnum Karya, so close to each other. Second time, back-to-back games, Tospic has been setting a trap, laying low until the right moment to attack. Sis starts to move up. Again, Tospic, all eyes on him. And when he does challenges, Wild way off in the distance, able to help. I don't think so. So I believe Tospic is going to be all on his own in the current moment.
Yeah, Wild is far split on the north side from him. He's very central, though. And the question is, does DRX want to start something in the middle of this zone? And at the moment, they're at 3 players. They're on that boundary. Maybe they just want to live a little bit longer. I feel like that Elam point might be worth it, but R8 are ready to take that fight, right? From that eastern side, they'll peek over that lip. They'll take the shots as soon as they hear them pop off. You've also got to worry about your northern flank coming through from Intense Game. See if they can find it. Oh, another knock from Influence Rage over towards Rosemary. Alter Ego, in the meantime, all the while, have been sending back up a little bit towards that northern side. Rosemary, a knock again sent his way. The blue zone's right there. And the pickup doesn't come through. Alva needs to be fast on this one. And he's into the same sight lines. Diego gets that flush. Not nice.
All right, so losing your top Slayer, in fact, the top Slayer, right, when it comes to our tournament so far, that's got to hurt. What can Alter Ego do without Rosemary? What you got to say, hey, their game today, their scores have already been phenomenal. Even if they let this one go, they're still going to be just fine. But for Alter Ego's Influence Rage, that story is still going to unfold. They have the 2-2 split. The only thing that I question is Diego and Law. I hope they don't get a little bit over-aggressive. They need to backtrack because Fireflux is just on the opposite side, and I believe they might run into each other. So that would be my biggest worry if I was Influence Rage at the moment.
It is pretty tricky to navigate from that eastern side. The circle has shifted down to the south of the road, nice and hard towards Power Grid, keeping RA again in a central location, so another opportunity for them to keep the wind in their sails and keep on going. Romeo, we've seen what damage this guy can do. We'll see if he can do a little bit more over towards Gamax, who have lost one already. They've taken a knock as well, so they are playing on as 2. Yangon Galacticos get a sidle on into the compound there. The concrete's trying to keep safe around it, but Gamax can't suppress him. Smile is on the hunt, and that is one more under the belt. Gamax going down without a fight.
There it is, without a fight, Sans. Well, today, just not going their way. They finished with a total of 5 points, averaging less than a point a map. Tomorrow has to be much better. But for Yangon Galacticos, right, this is their final game. They currently sit in 7th place. They're at 56 total points. They need everything they can possibly get, and that fight is a start.
Influence Rage finding another tag on towards Alter Ego. As Alter Ego do try and send forwards. That was Krypton who moved in. This was an early scout from them, but Influence Rage have had their number for a while now, and Alter Ego may have bitten off more than they could chew.
Gone down. Alter Ego's forced to just survive with just 2. Like you said, getting picked off one by one. Thunder Talk up ahead. They're taking shots. Moana's going straight into Jing, who might apex that hill, take a couple of shots on the car. He tries it, but just... Oh, he hits the buggy, and he might be down and out. I think this is Alter Ego's fully finished off. Moana hits the dirt.
Has to try and keep safe now. A little bit too far away from Thunder Talk to fully commit, but there is Team Secret. The nades pouring on over the top. They move away from one another, stop an immediate knock and flush on the entire team. That nade would have found both of them, but Alva had repositioned away. That's what you're looking for. Thunder Talk are going to take shots. Team Secret want a slice of the pie here as well. We'll see who's able to pick up the pieces, but it might just divert the fight between these 2 4-player squads.
Oh, AJ from Thunder Talk takes down one from Team Secret, who might be crumbling right before our eyes. Xeris still has to move forward to help his team out. Thunder Talk is mainly doing this fight with just 2 players, mind you, and Jing has been the linchpin, and he's been the one starting the fights for this Thunder Talk roster. And it looks like Alter Egos are sending a solo out, just try and get away as this fight is currently underway. Team Secret going for the revive, and Thunder Talk can't get the nades over to get the cleanup.
Is Alpha going aggressive down towards the south? Maybe he's looking for the fight over towards the edge, but AJ misses that spray on the cross, and it allows 2 players from Team Secret to find that res, get back to a healthy position, and now Frankie is feeling a lot safer, has the backup of 2 teammates on the off angle. Circle shift out to the west side now, and over towards 4 Thrives, Yangon Galacticos.
All right, still seem very, very solid where they're currently at. I don't foresee them having to move anytime soon. We look at intense game against Vision, and looks like a big win so far for IG. Much needed points. They've been relatively quiet all day today. Game number 6. Would it be unorthodox for this roster to be the best in the lobby? But they're going to have to do it with just 3 players. And so I want to say if they can hit about 30 or so points, I still have good faith. Maybe they can make a top 8 run with a heroic effort in tomorrow's competition.
Regnum Kaya hoping that I'm right on my bubble prediction right now because they've just been eliminated. They have 81 points at the moment. That might well be enough, but only tomorrow we'll be able to tell. Or maybe the rest of these games here. Looks like Alter Ego's miracle run may be drawing short as we've seen the numbers start to dwindle on this match. Vision, they were looking to try and chase, but they were a real outside chance on this one, and they potentially are going it down. But Never Alone, he's not going to give up. Not without a fight.
No, not without a fight indeed. Great shots on the Fireflux, and well, they're in a bit of shambles at the moment, and Alone is the large reason for that, but they are going to be able to recover. And Alone, he's making a last-ditch effort. He understands, hey, this is our final game. We've just got to go for it. And if it doesn't work out, well, we're in no better position than they were before. 56, most likely. They understand just simply isn't going to be enough. But the true question is, for IG just up ahead, how do they take this attempt and how do they take this fight? And also, can Alone get some off angles on some of the IG members?
Potentially looking for some shots here. Never Alone does have 2 nades, 2 Molotovs in tow in his backpack, so could potentially leverage those. In the meantime, Influence Rage go down, by the way. That will draw their tournament to a close for the league stages on 54 points. Not going to be enough to find themselves in the top 8. They are already down in 9th place, so they are guaranteed not to be going through directly to the finals. We'll be seeing them in the survival stages.
Alone continues to push up the hill. Got to think Ketch understands this. He throws out a couple of nades in Alone's path, but Alone does manage to get some distance between him and the roster of Fireflux. And, once Alone... So this is the thing, right? You see IG. They can maybe pincer Fireflux here if they can time it correctly. If Alone decides to challenge, it would be a perfect scenario. They would have to time it very, very right. But if they do so... hey, things could get quite weird, but in the meantime, it does look Fireflux wants to make the attempt. They're pushing up, and Silence needs to be ready.
And the pincer may be the other way around here as Intense Game have a backstop of Yangon Galacticos. It is just Romeo here, but SayCloud's not too far off either. The spray down works out well, though. Scarface, Soulless fall. The answer is sent back the way of Intense Game, but the front axle careens over the dunes here, and Silence once more. He's chewing through them and spitting them back out.
Wow, Fireflux are gone. They choose to leave Alone alone and then go straight into Intense Game. They get a couple of downs, but Intense Game's going to be able to recover. Now the question is, do we see Yangon Galacticos start to move up to potentially gather some ground? You notice Romeo is going to be relatively close. He's going to be the tip of the spear for the Galacticos roster.
Oh, they got to go for it, though. I mean, they've got such control over the northern side. Do Intense Game want to go there? I don't know. They might try and push towards DRX and have a good time of it. We'll have to wait and see. Thunder Talk trying to stop Team Secret from leaving. You're not going to be successful in that endeavor, unfortunately. Might be able to catch the backside of that rotation as Alter Ego do finally fall. Their day is over, but they earn a gargantuan, a mammoth amount of points.
That's right. Nearly breaking into top 3 is so impressive. Off of just 6 games. Can't wait to watch them tomorrow. Smile taking down a 4 Thrives member. That's the first one to drop so far. Not down and out just yet, though. They can get him back up onto his feet. 4 Thrives have already done a wonderful job. So this fight is going to be impactful, but not as impactful, at least from 4 Thrives' perspective. Now, DRX, however, on that potential theoretical threshold of 80 points, they sit at 79. They need everything they can get, and they are playing very cautiously.
Yeah, Team Secret as well, looking to try and keep that one going with the 3 points they've earned already, and placements starting to come in after the next team falls. Every point's going to matter here. Team Secret on 78. They are currently level with Alter Ego, who have gone down, but the 6-man disadvantage. Intense Game do send on in towards DRX's bunker, but they are not having a good time of it. The 3-player players alive for DRX are working
Got it.
with one another beautifully. So easy though.
Nice.
The last to stand stays alive for the South Korean roster, but in comes R8 around the headland. Yangon Galacticos moving in. The Sharks are here. They've smelt the blood in the water.
Absolutely, and they want to feast. Team Secret also not too far away either. For DRX, still in a little bit of trouble. You need to get your teammates back on your feet, at least have a duo to make something happen. But the nades are careening in, and R8 has the utility to take them out as they currently stand, but they just can't make the connection. Either way, they're starting to close that vice grip. They're moving forward. They're starting to form a fatal triangle, and in the middle is DRX.
They are just trying to live this one out. They have got 3 points. They're over Regnum Kaya now, which is a very nice place to be. Another point would be beautiful, but they've got the placements. The nade from the back line doesn't tag on to QX, and the nade from So Easy, looking for Math, isn't going to be able to get the full job done, but does tag him, force that heal. He's burning, and there's the knock. The Molotov behind him forces him out of the bunker, and they may be onto another one. R8, losing their forward position, have lost a little bit of momentum.
Yes, they have, and DRX still holding on very, very strong. And I do want to point out, Yangon Galacticos get a little bit overzealous, and well, for 4 Thrives, they take down one of their members. They have to try and recover, but if they push up a little bit too far, maybe Team Secret is in the vicinity. Maybe they capitalize and set the trap to take down Yangon Galacticos. We'll see if that ends up unfolding. Meanwhile, all attention on DRX in this R8 fight, which should have been single-handedly going to R8, but you got to be so impressed. DRX holding on tight to what they got. They understand they need to hit the 80-point threshold, and they're going for gold.
They need more placement points as well to feel safer and safer. Currently, with the points that they've earned, they're on 83 points. They are ahead of Regnum Kaya by 2, and that's before you add whatever placements they get in this match, whatever more they're able to earn. It's going to feel nice here for DRX, and it's very likely now that we'll see them moving on up and in towards those finals. We'll see how far they can go. 4 Thrives right now with the challenge of moving on in, and they opt to take the northern rotate, try and flow in behind Yangon Galacticos, and maybe backfill on this rotation.
Let's see what they decide to do. I thought Phallic and 24 were going to push up onto Smile. Luckily, they don't. And the reason why I say luckily is because you had Romeo and Say Cloud, who were off in the distance for Galacticos, who were going to have the great angle to potentially punish them once they apex the hill. Anyways, Phallic still stays. He wants presence on top of the hill, and Smile knows this, and both are careening towards each other on their stomachs.
Ooh, it's slow, it's steady, but it is potentially fatal. Phallic,
he knows.
With the advantage, I think, on this engagement. Smile will crest the ridge, but I think Phallic will get the peak first here, has that info, will have heard those steps. He knows exactly that the player there, has full sight lines, goes for the spray down. He does not miss those. There is no way that he's going to lose out on that engagement. And that's another point under the belt for 4 Thrives. They want to try and put up, or the 120 on today. That would be beautiful for them. Keep
Without a
10-point average going.
Without a doubt. And you know what? To keep Phallic, by the way, to challenge Smile in that vicinity was great. It seems like a tremendous risk, but 4 Thrives knew exactly what they were doing, and they have been piecing apart Yangon Galacticos. Remember, they took out the first one a little bit earlier. They just take out a second one. They're taking them out piece by piece. Now, on board with EDA Esports, who we watched a little bit earlier in the engagement against R8 for the compound. They kind of separated each other, but they're still within the same vicinity, and they're still fighting. R8 up ahead, and the first knock is in.
The tap with the Mini 14, good for the knock. And the first blood is drawn on this skirmish. Forcing Damar back up to the wall there, not really going to be in a super resable position, potentially just done and done for him. And R8 looking to move on with 2 players left standing. See how much further they can go. There's that flush to confirm it. Thundertalk going to make their approach now. Potentially try and push in behind Ida and have a little bit to say about this situation. But they do draw short. They stop, pop some smokes, try and stay safe. In the meantime, 4 Thrives over on this northwest edge. They found Yangon Galacticos with 2 players still standing. Say Cloud and Romeo down in the ditch, and Phallic close by with a nade, looks for the cook over the top, doesn't quite connect, and T24 is down in the meantime. 2 players to face him, and he will be rebuffed.
Well, he gets taken down. Revenge is in the cards for Yangon Galacticos, taking on 4 Thrives, dodging buggies. Do we go over the top? Well, IQ goes for the attempt, backs away. What are we doing? You had full ground to do it. Nades are being cooked. If he could just apex that hill, he's taking them both out, but he doesn't know. And the nades come in. Can IQ live? Yes, but just barely. You can't res Phallic here. Surely not. There's no reason to even go for it, but he gets a couple of shots on a Say Cloud. IQ finally drops, and now it's up to the clutch master master himself off in a distance of Naki.
6 teams now remain, and in the top side it is DRX still going. It is Team Secret still going, but Team Secret take a knock sent their way in the meantime as IQ was bleeding out before Noki's feet. He's not going to make that dash. There's no way that he can get over there. Doesn't have any nade, any Molotov to back him up. Only smokes, and you can't be using those right now. You need those as a solo to go further. Another team drops, and now 5 teams remain. These placements are adding up. The P90 for Noki, a 1 versus 2, but it's a needle threaded from the backlines there from Romeo to see Noki down.
But a tremendous day, a tremendous 12 games for the 4Thrives Esports roster as they finish, at least at the moment, in first place without tomorrow's competitors joining back in the mix. We're getting down to now our top 4. You've got DRX, Team Secret, you've got Ida who's up ahead, and well, things start to look crazy as Yangon Galacticos also joins in the mix. And you know what? A big win here would be absolutely needed. Let's not forget, they're on their final game. They have a chance to potentially apex and be well within the top 8. They can still qualify for finals off of this game, but they've got to do everything right.
It is a monumental task to be able to find enough points out of this game for teams like Yangon Galacticos. It's going to be a real tough time. Ida, though, this could also be a massive game for them. They're up to 8 elims already, up onto 41 points now on the tournament with those elims. It's a question of how much further they can go. With 4 players alive, they do have the dominant position. They are looking to try and flow around and control that south edge. We're into stage 9 here, nearly coming up to the 30th minute as our circle is closing dead center. It will be on top of Team Secret.
Everybody too just is going to collapse straight in to Team Secret, who I feel like have kind of been running on fumes for a while. We've looked at them make some great plays, but they've been in this little ravine for the longest time, and finally some shots are being fired. He just going straight into him. Hold up, DRX melting them down, and is this the end to Ida's run?
Yangon Galacticos also will have sightlines onto this. They're now hitting the deck, trying to go for the nades, but they're getting lit up from every angle, and not even finding a knock onto DRX. Only 1 player now from Ida stands, and everybody else is picking a piece of them out, adding it to their score tally. Darking desperately looking for the res, but the stand-up not going to be successful there, as it is again Yangon Galacticos to find the opening, to look for the shot. So easy is pushed back, but Ida are flagging, and Team Secret, where are they? They're still on their belly buttons.
They're hiding. They've been hiding this entire time. They're going for gold, and the opportunity is there. But I said it, right? Yangon Galacticos can still do this if they get every point, and they're going for it. Team Secret finally get active. They get off their stomachs. They're on their feet, and they're pushing up towards Yangon Galacticos. The question is, can they win the 2v2?
Belt buckles to the enemy, boys. We need to take the fight now. Team Secret out of the ditch and into the fire for Yangon Galacticos. They are sending the nades on in, trying to split them up, trying to find those little bits of information that they can play off. 6 smokes still available for SayCloud, but it's not really going to matter too much. They are into the final circle. It is closing, and they stand up. The first knock is there. Team Secret now in a 1 versus 1 trade. Romeo, who's been devastating, but it's shotgun shell for shotgun shell, and Yangon Galacticos able to close it down. Will it be enough?
Question is, will it be enough? Is exactly the question we should be asking ourselves. A tremendous win, a great finish for the 12th and final game for Yangon Galacticos over in the Group Yellow region. Man, well done from them. And I said it, look, I think they can do it. I really do. I was feeling it in my bones. 2 players left. They went all the way. A tremendous win. You got to give them credit.
What a romantic close down to that game, Romeo. I love it. Absolutely beautiful stuff coming on through from Yangon Galacticos. They held a wide split on that northwest side for a long time. They forced a lot of fights to play in different areas of the map, and they extracted value from a lot of them. Some third-party picks, that set up over towards IDA, tearing them to pieces as soon as they went towards DRX ditch. It was really nicely held in those final moments. A nice result coming through.
And let's not forget, 4Thrives was tearing them apart piece by piece at one point, and 4Thrives wanted to take them down, wanted to finish them off. So Yangon Galacticos had to go through so much adversity in order to take that game. Let's go to the studio because it's time to break down Game 6 and the entirety of Day 2.
That's right, Reflections. Yangon Galacticos, Max, a team that surprised us from the first game that we played in day one with the amount of eliminations that they were able to get. Could this be enough to qualify them straight to the grand finals?
I mean, they were in the top 8, right? And now actually getting themselves a chicken dinner. Not just a chicken dinner, but a double-digit elimination chicken dinner. This is the perfect time. Well, it had to be now because it was the last game. They had no other option. But they do actually get themselves the win. Now it's going to be stressful because don't forget, tomorrow they're not playing, right? So they're going to be one of those cutoff point teams possibly that's going to be at the bottom of the top 8 if they do end up qualifying. So there's going to be a big target on their back. That's the point threshold we need to reach. So it is going to be the team to beat in tomorrow's 6 matches.
And for this team, I mean, we got to talk about the other team too there towards the end. Team Secret, they have been so consistent. And something that you mentioned earlier too, Neptura, is that this team has been able to maintain themselves there towards the top, even though they haven't gotten any chicken dinners. And once again, right here, they don't get a chicken dinner, but they do end up getting 11 points.
I mean, yeah, we've seen them in the top 5 basically the entire time, top 5, top 6. So with 11 points, they're able to actually do that again. They're able to just maintain that position. Is that a position we're going to see them still in at the end of day 3? No. Is it going to be top 8? Possibly, with as consistent as they've been without any wins whatsoever. Seven's looking very frowny face at me. I think he disagrees.
No, I would love to see a win out of this team, whether regardless if it's going to be in survival stage or maybe grand finals. We'll have to wait and see, right? We still have to wait and find out what's going to be happening tomorrow on the final day for group stages, as we're going to be